We're live. Has your muted? Has your muted? Has your muted? Unmute yourself. Yo, just go in the group chat, man. And if we're live, we're live. Yo, what's going on? I don't know what's happening to Has.
What the hell that was? I'm bare confused. Well, we started.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, I said we were live like 10 minutes in it. Sorry, man. Welcome to Spurs Kings TV.
Yeah.
We're joined with TJ and Has in it, and Larry Scarf is going to be joining us in a while in it. So, he's just logging in right now.
Yeah.
Have to take over solo. Yeah, man. Every single week, man. These guys are not serious. Scarf, he just used a link in the group chat.
Yeah, fam. Just use the link in the group chat. I'm talking like TJ now. In the group chat, bro.
Link in the group chat, bro. Yeah. How you been, Has? You been good?
I mean, yeah. Apart from Tottenham, my life's been alright, mate.
Yeah, man. I feel your pain because, like, I don't have access to WhatsApp from my laptop.
God, okay. Give me a second.
Jesus.
I'm still live, by the way. I'm just gonna sort this shit out. Hold on.
Just send it on Twitter, man. Send it on Twitter to him. Yeah. No, you're right. 110%. Like, Tottenham was really a disappointing moment for us. Yeah, I did predict it to be a draw, and to be fair, you two predicted a loss. What can we say? Tottenham's Tottenham. It's the Spurs way, really and truly. It's a difficult game for both teams, and you know what? Let's be honest here now. We didn't play amazing football. We couldn't break down their back line, and resultantly, they had a few chances. Their ultimate chance was obviously the corner that obviously went in and obviously gave them the point, really and truly. But when you look at it from a neutral point of view, we're both on the same level, West Ham and Tottenham. You know, it's as much as it pains me to say, it's an equal battle of two rubbish teams. For me, it's an equal battle of two rubbish teams. You get where I'm coming from, and I did know it was going to be difficult, to be honest with you, because there's an echo, bro. Just mute your mic for a second.
Harry, just mute your mic.
Yeah, just mute your mic for a second, bro. Yeah, love. Yeah, obviously it would be difficult for both teams, you know, and let's not lie here. Let's not act like we're the bigger club, because really and truly, it's two shit teams going against each other.
You forget West Ham won the Conference League last year.
Two shit teams going against each other. That's how it panned out on the pitch. And if you don't see it like how I saw it, I was kind of bored. You know, there was times where I was bored, like, you know, this attacking style from Tottenham was nullified from David Moyes' defensive line. And you know what? They played well. Look, again, it's West Ham's Cup final.
You know, Antonio had that chance.
Well. Yeah, right at the, like, near the endish, you know? Yeah, no, 110%. The issues I have is look, I don't have no issues with how, because we knew it was going to be a difficult game. We all said it was either going to be a draw. I said a draw or a loss in it. I got the exact right result right. I said 1-1, but we all said it was going to be a negative result. So let's just put this in a whole bracket. We all agreed that it was going to be a negative. My issues are, what is with our set pieces? Why can't we defend corners? Why can't we defend free kicks? Why can't we defend balls going into the box? And I'm classing all of these long free kicks, short free kicks, all of these things. We're struggling to deal with balls in the air. Now,
do you know who deals with set piece coaches? Can I tell you? So,
Ryan Mason.
There's your answer.
Now, see, I on the day I said one thing in it, you know. It's either Ryan Mason needs to find a different career, or Ryan Mason needs to smell the coffee beans, because clearly it's a failure what he's doing right now.
It's also
We're conceding the same goals.
Yeah.
Sorry, go for it, bro.
No, I was going to say, sorry. So apparently, we had that good set piece coach under Conte because we know we had that record of set piece goals. So when Ange came in, and this is not Ange, unfortunately, he didn't get on or something with the set piece coach that was already there because there were some coaches that stayed after Conte left, remember? And so he got rid of him, and he brought in Jedinak, that ex-Australian defender. I can't remember who he played for in the Premier League, but I think it was Palace. Yeah, I'm right. Okay. And then obviously Mason took one of them does attack, one of them does defense, but I can't remember which way around it is. But whoever they're both for me, they're both like rubbish.
They're both garbage. Let's be honest with you. It's a joke of it's a joke for both of them, bro.
Go out there and they find these good set piece coaches. Like look at Arsenal, they got someone in, and look how many.
It's a joke, innit? But see, this is another thing that needs to be addressed in it, because we're conceding the same amount of goals than we're scoring. It's not good enough. And see now you're gonna think, oh, I have a Ange agenda, but it ultimately comes down to Ange. If he can't see that it's not going right or wrong, bro, he needs to figure it out as well. You can be conceding all of these chances and conceding all of these goals, but if you're not fixing the problem, there's something wrong with you. So for me, we're blaming Mason right now, and this is what I was going to lead to. I was going to let another person jump in. Ultimately, we're blaming Mason, yeah? But really and truly, the person that put him in charge is Ange, innit? So for me, Ange needs to take a lot of slack because Ange is ultimately the person that's put him in charge. And now, look, I know the first year you can't do everything. The questions are, I'm going to come later on to like why I'm going to say this. Even Vicario's to blame as well, bro. He is also a part of this problem. If Vicario,
commanding enough, TJ.
If Vicario, for me personally, can't deal with corners and can't deal with set piece and can't deal with high balls, we have a weak goalkeeper. There's a problem. And I'm not talking about overall skill set. I'm just talking about that set because everybody's exposing us. Most of our goals are coming in from corners and free kicks. How's that even possible? What is going on here? There's a major issue. But
I was going to say something about the West Ham game. What annoyed me the most, if you look at the statistics of the game, and I'm not really a stats person, but what stuck out to me the most is Spurs made almost twice as many passes as West Ham, but we had the same shots on target. So can you tell me what's wrong here? Like, clearly we're not being very effective in the way we play. And yeah, we're trying to sort of score the same goal every time. But anyway, Harry, your thoughts on West Ham?
Yeah, and also what TJ said, let's be very clear here. If it wasn't, for set pieces, we would have won that game. So I don't think we were at our best, absolutely, but set pieces is a problem. And I said that whoever, we know it's Mike Jennick and Ryan Mason, but no one knows what way around it is. But whoever it is, especially defensively, but both, they're still in an absolute living here because this is ridiculous. It can't keep continuing. And for me, the reason Arsenal will be title contenders right until the end of the season up until May it's not last season, it's this season. Yes, of course, they strengthened in the summer with Rice, etc. The main thing is they lost to West Ham at home and Fulham away, which is probably the worst week Arsenal have had as a club for a long, long time, ever since that Xhaka incident, to be honest with you. But they went away, I think a hot country, I think somewhere like Dubai, brought in a set-piece coach, trained, worked on set pieces, and now they scored the most goal from set pieces and conceded the least. It's no mystery. The evidence is there. So I don't know why we're not doing the same. For me, it's really visible.
I saw a quote somewhere, Harry. Not a quote. I think I was watching another stream. I can't remember whose it was. So, but they were saying that they think one of Arsenal's differences in breaking low blocks is the set pieces because obviously they must. Obviously, these players stick 10 men behind the ball. They might block it and get a corner. And then because they're so good on corners, they'll break them down like that.
Well, ultimately, you can have 80% possession or 20% possession, but set pieces still give you a good chance of winning the game. We've seen it with City, time and time again, over with Pep throughout the years, where they haven't been good, but they've won the game from a set piece. Arsenal, we continue to see it, scoring from set pieces, defending well from set pieces with their two physical centre-backs. So set pieces will always be a big part of the game. But West Ham overall, I thought our performance was good to start with. West Ham got the goal back, and we kind of collapsed for a little period. So overall, it's quite disappointing because we haven't beaten West Ham in 3 attempts, including pre-season this season. Where I will say, I do think West Ham are one of a couple of teams that have found a way to exploit Ange Postecoglou's style of football. Doesn't necessarily mean that Ange needs a plan B, etc. It's okay being found out. Being found out and stopping a team is one thing. Like, we all know how Man City are going to play, for example, but not many teams can stop them. Whereas with Tottenham, teams like Wolves and West Ham, they know how we play and they're stopping us. So that for me is an issue. We bring in quality in the summer. Will it be an issue? Who knows? We'll have to see the next season. But overall, frustrating game. Just glad we didn't lose it at the end.
I just want to say something on Ange. Like, I think he's very disrespectful to other teams. And the reason I say this is because they asked him in a press conference, they go to him, "Oh, do you think Man United can catch you?" And he's like, "Well, we're 12 points behind City. Don't you think we can catch them?" And I'm like, "Bro, what are you smoking?" Like,
I think it's no, but what I will say is he's not going to let the club settle for fourth. And whatever, you know my thoughts on the ownership, but regardless of that, not him sitting here going, "I'm not going to take the fourth," is what we want to hear.
Harry, it's not that. It's just the way he with the comment. It's like,
it's not. But wait, it's not even settling for fourth. It's now coming to the point where we could even settle for fifth and sixth. You get where I'm coming from. So as much as you're saying, it's not. It's a way of him saying, "Oh, you know what? We're not okay with us settling for fourth." Technically, your goal is top 4. So right now you have to play your cards.
He even told us in his first press conference, the aim of this year or this club is get this club back into Europe. So he basically said what he was going to do before.
When you're playing poker, I don't know if any of you guys play poker, innit? Yeah. You play the cards what you have in your hand. You don't play the cards what was on the table. Because if you start playing the cards when you're in the table, you're going to lose every single time. Now, my point is this. In poker, you bluff. There's a chance of you having good cards, but on the table, it's bad cards. Now, you need to learn the game of bluffing, playing your cards right. Really and truly, this is what Ange's problem is. He's not playing his cards right. When you say stuff like, "Oh, our goals away, we're 12 points away from Man City." I don't give a damn if we're 12 points away from Man City. You need to fucking beat West Ham. You need to beat, what is it called? Play the cards that are right in front of you. If you're struggling to beat teams that are in front of you, how the hell can you beat teams like Man City and Arsenal? Now, we're coming to a difficult run of games, and this is my point, isn't it? Now, if you don't play the cards that you have and play the team that is on the pitch, because, look, it's all fair for Ange to say, "Yo, our goals are not top 4. Our goals are not Conference League. Our goals are not Europe. Our goals are not first." It's fair on him. Fair assessment to say these type of things, because you ideally want to bring a perspective, and obviously, like, let's just be honest with you. If you set a goal and you stand by that goal, you're not going to either achieve more or achieve less. So it's fair for him to say that. My concerns are we're losing too many games and dropping too many points in games that we should be winning. Now, for whatever reason, it's the same signs that carry on happening, in terms of, like, if it's not a set piece, it's the high line that's exposed. If it's not a high line, it's the attack that we're meant to be playing, this flourishing football, attack, and put the body. Do we see that?
The only way we score goals, right, is either we pass through the team or we play a
ball. Do we actually see that?
If you notice, he'll bring on Johnson in the second half, and I noticed Johnson does this a lot. He'll whip a ball across the box.
Well, we do.
But that is where we need a number 9. I think a number 9 would be hitting a lot more goals, because we get good positions and we get good crosses in, but there's often no one at the end of it. And I also think we need to shoot more. I've said that before. We don't shoot enough, and that is a problem. But what TJ said about the Ange Postecoglou thing, where for me he did get it wrong, is saying that we're going to sign a fourth strong centre back, because any team with a centre back, as you mentioned before, your Brathwaites, whoever it may be, are going to go, Tottenham want a fourth centre back. Let's chuck 20-25 million in front of that. So for me, I don't know if he's told to say that, etc. I would have gone out there. I don't think any club should go out there and say what their ambition is for for the summer or the January transfer window. So that was.
But wait, can I just stop you? No. Let me answer this question though. Not to judge what you're saying. isn't it important for you to reveal your cards early in the season and say these are our goals, this is what we're trying to hit? Because if you start lying, I'm not saying he's lying, maybe there's another word for it, bluffing, or
Yeah, I know what you're
I'm just
saying.
going to use lying because lying is the most unique word to kind of like push where I'm coming from. If you start lying to the fans at an early stage, you know,
But he
you're
didn't lie to us because the aim was to finish in Europe. I'm not saying he should have won
Yeah,
the
which
league.
No.
should
What,
be
no,
most
what I'm
of the
trying
season.
to say, cool. So we've already established that Ange Postecoglou doesn't want to settle for fourth.
But he even
Yeah.
said, TJ,
No,
and this is where
he said already he wants a challenge for the title.
Yeah,
I'm just
next
going to
season.
use that one statement as an example to kind of like shift what I'm trying to say. Now, if you set your standards so high, this is my problem as well. But realistically, the goals of what you're doing right now is not at that stage. Aren't you kind of like selling the fans a dream? Because we've already said we need to give him time. Well, I know I have. Harry, you have said we need to give him time. Has, I'm not too sure because you kind of said, look, I need to see the football, right? But I've automatically said we need to give him time. If you start throwing in the cards and selling us the dreams early, don't you think that's going to be his biggest downfall?
Yeah. The two wrong things he said, CJ, is, and this people will take this as a positive, but it can also be a negative. He said all the signs are his. Remember, he said he's
Exactly. That's why I said
positive and a negative.
that's
And
what,
number two, he said next season we'll be challenging for the title. That's basically what he
exactly.
said.
All this is why I base my ethos and my arguments based on what he says. If all of his signings are his, and I know we went through this, and I don't want to go through this again, you know. But I'm going to use the example we went through this last week, yeah, and I'm not going to go again. But if all the signings are hit, the players like Brennan Johnson, the players like Werner, the players, all of these, like, he's a green light in them. So are you selling us dreams? Because clearly there's something wrong because you can't win titles. Okay, Harry. The
Not
question I have:
I don't think you're gonna
can you win titles with Werners and Johnsons?
I don't. If I'm honest with you, I don't want to get into the whole Werner debate, and I think this team. I think right now, there's a big gap between the top three in England and anyone else. I think that's quite visible, and I've been very critical of Antonio Conte and Jose Mourinho, both at times. However, I think that they were both very, very honest and went, look, our job is to close the gap to the best teams in England. We haven't seen that recently. I think that the reason I want to give Ange long terms, I think the gap will reduce, but I think sometimes he's too honest. And as you said, selling fans dream, like the start of the season. I mean, I'd love you thought to let fans dream, but he's constantly, you should be playing down at that stage, that title.
Especially if we thought we were going to work for a process.
And Ranieri, and they won the title. They kept playing it down until they were all confirmed to win the title. So I win with that. I completely agree with that. The another side to me thinks, well, at least he's being honest with the fans, but you've got to be realistic. And I don't think he's a fool, as a comment says there, but he's used to winning in Celtic. Is he getting a bit carried away? It remains to be seen.
But don't you think it's a bit of arrogance, Harry? Because let's be honest, man, the guy's coming from a much lower league into the Premier League, which is arguably the most, some people say it's the most competitive league in the world. Like anyone can beat anyone, yeah? And he's coming from the SPL, no disrespect, or in the J League, whatever it was. Like, you're dealing with a whole different level of teams.
Let's be very clear here. It's a different level. If we put Celtic or Rangers in the Premier League, absolutely. But I think Celtic and Rangers will be in the bottom half of the table, maybe even fighting a relegation battle. I think there's that much of a gap. I think the Premier League is a lot stronger than people think. We saw Chelsea versus Man United, apparently two awful teams, but they both went at it. And I think we're both probably at this
Chelsea United
Celtic. Yeah, exactly. It's really, really entertaining, and the Premier League is so unpredictable. But just obviously, as we said there, it's got to be careful because it's a massive difference. But at the same time, does he deserve to have that little bit of arrogance? Because if you're him, you go, I've won trophies. That's why people like Conte, Mourinho get away with it. They've won trophies.
No, but the difference between Conte,
his job of his life.
No, but the difference between Conte and Mourinho, for me, sorry, no disrespect to Ange, innit? They have proven to do it in the big leagues, the big gunning leagues. Whereas Ange is kind of like, he has been successful. I'm not saying he's not, but respectable in leagues that are not on the same terms as how Conte and Mourinho has done it. Look, my concerns. Look, I think Ange is a pretty solid guy, to be honest with you. He says it how it is, and speaks how it is. It's just for me, like I go back to the poker analysis, innit? When you play poker, you have cards in front of your hand, yeah, and it's how you use these cards. You don't literally give everything away. And for me personally, you play ideally what's on the table, but you also play what people are doing. So if someone's raised £250 and I don't have £250 right here, bro, I'm gonna have to fold my cards. Yeah. I'm not gonna say, yo, let me double down because it could be a case of his bluffing. In this game and age, everybody bluffs. It's so important to bluff. It's how you play your cards. And I believe right now he's playing the wrong cards at the wrong time.
What worries me about Ange a lot is I look at Arteta, and I don't know if we spoke about this a bit on the last show. So in Arteta's first season, he knew he didn't have the players he needed. So he went to a back five, and he didn't play this.
He adjusted. Yeah.
So you can argue he adapted from day one. But I look at the game against City. I know we drew 3-3 to City, but the way Arteta set them up was so not unpredictable. As no one expected him to park the bus. Yeah,
nobody's saying he's done anything wrong. I hope you let me clarify. I didn't say anything. Did I say he's done anything wrong?
No.
We're saying. Okay, wait. In fact, let me ask you a question. What are you saying that is we said what is wrong? Yeah, but carry on.
Anyway, I was going to say. So I could never imagine Ange going and doing what Arteta did away to City last weekend. Mm-hmm. Now, I know he played for the draw, but he did what he needed to do. Normally, Arsenal playing attacking football this whole season, right?
Do you think? Yeah. Do you think Ange's look again? A lot of fans have kind of like blindly fallen in love with Ange, and for whatever reason, I look at results more than anything else. I have to before I fall in love with someone, there has to be a template of success, and I don't mean look again. I'm going to make something clear. I don't mean success straight away. Never said that. I know it takes time. Look, I'm putting my hands up. I'm saying it on live. I know it takes time, but there has to be some form of success before I blindly fall in love. He came lost the best striker in the modern era, and still doing a fantastic.
And then at the same time, Peter, he has a much better defense and much better midfield than Conte had,
and still concede more goals.
What I would like to say is that. Like, I like to use this example with Eric Ten Hag with Man United because you base it off his first season. I mean, I know Man United with the history, etc., but that team and obviously all the problems off the pitch to get third and win the League Cup. That for me is the perfect first season for him. But what has mentioned Arteta there, he was given time. If the Arsenal board he got the players. If the Arsenal board, listened to the fans, Arteta wouldn't be in the job right now. So for me, as I said to you, I don't say next season's obviously quite big. It's a big step up for Ange, but I'm very, very happy with what I've seen, and overall, I think he surpassed my expectations.
Okay, cool. I know you're happy with what Ange's done so far, and you can have that viewpoint. Now, the question I'm going to propose to you, obviously, jumping onto what you've just said. Now, there's going to be a big amount of pressure from a lot of teams around us. You got the teams like Man United. They need to do better. Chelsea, ideally, have to do better. You got Liverpool. That I don't think there's going to be a lot of pressure, but I feel like because they've lost Klopp, they're going to want to at least finish in the top four. Then you got Arsenal, and if Arsenal miss out on the title, they're going to want to do better next year. Man United is Man City is Man City, innit? Villa as well. So you got a lot of teams kind of like chasing that top four and being very competitive. What's the chances of us kind of like taking over all of them players that are more established because they're more deeper into their actual process than Ange? Because generally speaking, I get that we have our goals, but also other teams have our goals. So we have to be realistic. Where could we see ourselves finishing next year? Because you are really positive when you speak about next year, you know. And this is why I'm kind of throwing this question to you. Generally speaking, I can't see us doing better than what we're doing this year.
Okay.
Due to the fact of the circumstances of what's happening around us. But that's just my opinion. Again, you're
Sure.
different. You see it as we are definitely going to win something, and obviously it's going to be a much better season. So where do you think we'll finish in, and how do you think that goal? Oh, you know what? In fact, next year, do you think it's going to be ultimately successful for him, or do you think there's going to be bumps in the road? Because generally speaking, we have the template so far. There's a lot of bumps. We started really well, and look at how we're finishing.
Yeah, of course, there's going to be bumps in the road. As I said to you with Arteta, that Fulham and West Ham week was the worst week that Arsenal had at the club. There's always going to be bumps in the road where you don't pick up points where you should, and you also pick up points where you shouldn't. Like we done it at home against Liverpool this year. I didn't expect us to get to the Etihad, go get a point. Didn't expect us to beat Villa. So I think that's the same for every team. But if I had to predict how this, I'm happy to tell you with every single competition where I think we're finished next season. I think we finished third, firstly, because I think Liverpool losing Klopp, I don't know who they get yet. It's obviously hard to say, but I don't think they'll quite be the same. So they have the players and they have the backing into the new manager, but I think that we see how valuable Jurgen Klopp was and is at the moment to Liverpool. So I think we finished third. Carabao Cup, I think we'll do a classic Tottenham thing and get knocked out in the first round. So that's not going to change in that respect. I think we'll be playing Champions League football next year. I have said that. And I think we get to the round of 16, but I do think we'll win the FA Cup. So that's third in the FA Cup, which is not far off what Erik ten Hag done in his first season. But this will be Ange Postecoglou's second. And I don't know about you guys, but I'll be very happy with that.
You know what? I want to bring this up because I don't know. When I watch Ange's system, everyone keeps saying, "Oh, it's going to succeed." But when I watch us, like we've got like two at the back when we attack, yeah. And the only way this can work is if you have two Van der Vens at the back. I don't know if I can see it working. And we don't have two Van der Vens in the back.
No, I do hope. Listen, let me be honest with you. I will be joyful if that was our season next year. But realistically speaking, I don't see. Look, I'm not saying. Look, I respect your point of view, and generally speaking, I hope it happens. I hope I'm proved wrong. But I have to agree with Haz. The way we play, I don't think we can get far. We're too one-dimensional. Look, we leave a lot of space behind us but due to the high line, and this is a factor into a lot of goals that we've conceded. We struggle to deal with set pieces.
I'm not saying Romero's a bad player, right? It's just you need to look at the amount of recoveries that Van der Ven is doing. And if you look at Antonio chance in the West Ham game, not in a million years Romero would have caught him, right?
We didn't he in the end?
Yeah. What I was just
say is 99% of the time, I think you're going to need two Van der Vens. And at the same time,
I agree with you. Listen, I believe Ange, unless he does develop next year and he changes a lot of things because again, we're just speaking hypothetically, and obviously we're speaking about the future, so anything can change. But for me, the way we play right now, we don't play convincingly. We don't convincingly win teams. How many teams have we beat up the park in the recent this season?
I agree with you on that. That's been my biggest concern, and I thought Luton would be that day. Let's be honest, that was depleted Luton squad. And let's be very clear here: if we play like we did against Fulham or Luton, let's just random example. We play Newcastle at St James's Park, also a little bit depleted. Then we lose that badly. Same with Liverpool, same with Arsenal, same with City. So we have to improve. And where I really want to see with Postecoglou, and I do think that he has changed. Like Luton, second goal goes in, Højbjerg straight on the pitch. So I do think that part of him has changed. But yeah.
What my biggest issue as well with his system is, okay, we very much praise the inverted fullbacks, yeah, but in a counter, right, you have to understand
the inverted fullbacks give us
you've lost the fullback.
Inverted fullbacks opens us up.
Unless we get number 6, Harry, you can literally just. So I look at someone like Rice, for example, and I don't know if he's the guy for it. I'm just using him as an example. Rice can play centre back and he can play or John Stones can play centre back, and he can play in midfield. Yeah,
The issue, no, but the issue we have.
We need a number 6, in my
No,
opinion.
but I disagree with that. The reason why I disagree with what you're saying, has the issue we have, why it's so widened and why we're so open, is the fact that we're playing so far up the pitch, past
what's this supposed to
in terms of if the inverted fullback was doing it 4 yards back and we were playing a normal system where we're not high up.
Just so the guy, I don't know.
For example, if we were doing the inverted fullback and we were doing it in a normal standpoint, I don't have no problem about the high line. Again, that's how he wants to play. That's his style. Listen, hope it goes well with it. But the issues I have is the fact that we do it so high up the pitch, so it leaves a lot of space in behind. And as you can see, do you realise against West Ham, against all teams, in fact, you know what? I'm even going to mention every single team. What way do they attack? They attack down the flanks all the time. They get in behind Van der Ven, so Van der Ven has to push out, and now is one and one against 2 and 3. So it's like, that's the major issues that we have going, defending. But again, it comes down to developments and having the right players. Maybe if we had a good number 6, a 6 that just sweeps up everything, maybe we won't have these issues. But again, these are all hypotheticals, because generally speaking, we're linked to people like Conor Gallagher and all of these type of players. So due to the fact of, look, do you think Conor Gallagher is going to be the person?
No. I watched him last night. I was like, no, thank you.
I don't know. Generally speaking, I don't know. So it comes back to the same issues that we're having.
I'm not against you as a person yet, but you could argue that about every single manager we've had. It's dependent on the players you have. I'd say that about any manager, mate.
That's why
what you're saying. But
that's why. No, but that's why I'm strongly on this poker thing. Generally speaking, you play the cards that you have in front of your hands. So put it like this: if you don't have a defensive midfielder, this is just argument's sake. Remember, I'm saying this argument. If you don't have a defensive midfielder to do the job that you want him to do, you don't play this high line. Or if you don't have a right back that can go forward, you don't play the line. If you don't have a centre back that can recover, you don't play the line. If you don't have a striker, you don't play. You see my point? You have to generally play what you have and improve on what you do have. So, for example, let's just say you're good going forward, but you're bad going back, you're bad going defensively. You just mentioned it. Romero, maybe we need to improve on Romero's position, because we can see that Van der Ven is performing well. I'm not saying, listen, these things are just examples, but you have to play what you have. And if you don't have it, bro, we're going to be sitting in this situation.
Is that because the fullbacks invert, you lose 2 players immediately in your defensive line, yeah?
Exactly.
By default. So, do you then use the wingers as wing backs? I know it sounds messed up because we're talking crazy talk here. You have wingers who can also track back to cover those wide areas that we're leaving short, yeah? We're gonna have to sign some mad fast wingers for that to work. But
can I just say
too many holes? Can
I just say in terms of fullbacks, as we mentioned it there, there is no benefit whatsoever playing with fullbacks against low block teams, because it just causes congestion in midfield. And the likes of James Maddison, without openly saying it, he gets annoyed with the fullback sometimes. You listen to him after, he just goes, "There's no space," and what he means is the inverted fullbacks, they're too high and too narrow. And, for me, Son and Richarlison... Son and Richarlison, they don't work well for me together, because they both drift out to the side. Not the fullback example. But we're seeing in a lot of situations where we're seeing congestion in the pitch. And also in regards to the number 6, for me, Bentancur's best performance of the season was as a progressive 6 in that first half against Aston Villa at home, where he sadly came off injured. So I'm thinking I'd quite like to see Bentancur as a 6 and then see Sarr and Maddison in front of him. So I just wanted to put that idea across.
Quick question. This goes to Harry, because obviously he's mentioned something really important. Now, if players are screaming out that it's not working, I'm not saying he's saying, yo, it's not working. Shouldn't your manager realise that? Because you've just said, oh, there's no space in the middle of the park because quote unquote, because of the fullbacks. Like, not necessarily throwing the fullbacks under the bus, but generally speaking, if that's what he said, I'm using what you've just said.
Yeah.
Shouldn't the manager realize that it's not okay? When I say not working, I don't mean extremely, but he needs to pick something up. He's the one that puts these players on the pitch, and he's the one that wants them to run a certain direction. It's his job to allow the players to flourish, and clearly they're not flourishing.
What I will say to that, TJ, is like against Wolves. I looked at Wolves and went, Neto, Sarabia, Hichan, they're going to cause you problems. So personally, if I was in Ange Postecoglou's position, which I said in the match preview on my channel, is that I wouldn't play with inverted fullbacks because and Wolves will double up with their fullbacks.
He will play with inverted fullbacks.
I know, but he shouldn't, is what I'm saying. With double up with Semedo and H-Nuti, so I wouldn't have played high fullbacks in that game. I think that's a huge. You look at Wolves' second goal, that counter attack, that comes from a fullback being too high. So for me, that is a problem he needs addressing. And I think that the players like Maddison get annoyed because Maddison works best in space when he has space and the time to pick a pass. That's why I don't think it works for England really either, because they've really congested midfield. Henderson likes to take over.
Every single manager we've had at Spurs in my lifetime, right? They lack depth, they lack options. So it's no point in saying what Ange does because they all have. It's not like, to me, it's not, news.
It's nothing new.
Let's be very clear here. Again, this is Ange's a huge step up for Ange Postecoglou, and I don't want to make. I love it at the moment. But next season's massive.
I'm very susceptible with his comments because I'm like, you're coming across as if like you've been in this league for 10 years and you're like the best manager ever by making comments about City saying we're only 12 points behind. Mate, we're not catching City.
This is why I'm saying you have to play the. See, I hate that. I hate that. Can I be honest with you? If I was to, if I was to like throw something under the bus, what I hate about Ange, it's comments like that. Comments like that, because you're not playing what you have in front of you. You're not saying, why didn't you get a result against West Ham? Why didn't you get a result against Wolves? Why didn't all of these things that we're in a process of it. That's what I hate. I hate that arrogancy because he doesn't even deserve it yet. He's really and truly, look, personally speaking, and I don't want to speak too negative about the manager, but personally, let's be honest with you, he's not experiencing this league.
But then, Nick, they asked him about United. Why did he bring up City? What's that got to do with it? We're not going to catch City. He might as well just said, United are 8 points behind us and just moved on the press conference.
If by the way, that's what we meant. If Pep Guardiola leaves, I don't think he'll leave in the summer. I think he'll leave the summer after.
If Pep Guardiola leaves, I want him.
He won't come to
I would love him. No. Let's Harry. If Pep Guardiola is, you wouldn't.
What?
Nah. Listen, brother. Listen, we're not. Listen, if you say you wouldn't. You wouldn't want him.
No, I hate watching it. So slow.
Managers in the world.
For me, that worst performance of any team this season was City 90 minutes against Arsenal. So boring, so slow. I don't want Pep. I wouldn't want, at this moment in time. I would not want Pep Guardiola at my club. I don't think he'd be the right fit.
No, we're not saying he's coming. We just threw that comment. we're not saying we want a different manager. We were just throwing the comment. I would want Pep. I want Pep for his experience personally. Pep could do wonders with the Tottenham team.
I wouldn't know. It's my fault. I worded it really poorly. I wouldn't turn Pep Guardiola down. If you said to me right now, Ange Postecoglou or Pep Guardiola, I'd go with Ange based on what I've seen. I have full faith in Ange Postecoglou.
Bro, you're mad.
Let me be honest with you, Pep.
I think that we'll be talking in 5-10 years' time, whether it's at Tottenham or not, where he's won a lot of trophies.
I would drop him. I would drop him right now. I would drop him right now for Pep. No, this is not me against Ange. This
well with the money. They've been very poor this season for me. They've been below par.
Hans, what about you? Would you drop him right now? Let's just say Pep is available tomorrow.
If he wants to come Spurs, he can come Spurs.
I say thank you for everything you've done, Ange. It was a good summer holiday.
Good thing.
He's taken us to where we need to take, but Pep, I have to have Pep. You know what I'm trying to say? Come on, man. You can't sit here and say you wouldn't want Pep. Pep,
I just one of the best managers ever. Like, ever.
It wouldn't do well without
And
the
even
backing.
this might be mind boggled, but I believe if Pep was to leave Man City, I think every single team in the Prem would want him, including Arsenal. They will drop Arteta for him. I generally believe that.
100%. Yeah.
I generally believe that Pep is not a. You know what Pep has done, man? Honestly, he is a tactician. There's a lot of doubts of like, has Man City cheated and all of this and that, but I don't care. I would love Pep. Just one training session with us. Trust me.
You know, he took Barcelona's B team to like win. What was it? The second, second division. What's the Liga second division? Whatever it's called. So it's not like he's not done it without money. Like he's actually done it. But like, come on, man, it's Pep Guardiola. I don't know why you wouldn't take
Trust
him.
me, man. Not at
this moment in time. If I'm being totally honest, I believe in honesty.
What are you basing it on? Are you basing it on the project that Ange's?
I'm basing it on that I can't see Pep being at my club any longer than 18 months unless he gets the extreme package, which I don't think that he would get. So I think it'll be Mourinho and Conte where he'll walk and we'll be left in an awful position. With Ange Postecoglou, I see a very long, deep project that will leave our club in a better place than where he came into it, something that neither Conte or Mourinho did. Listen, if you said to me, like, I don't know, 2-3 years' time, Pep Guardiola would be our manager, absolutely, but I'd be very, very happy. But at this moment in time, I wouldn't want to change your manager. That would completely disrupt all the previous plans and the current plans.
Oh, yeah. Let's make it clear. We're not saying we wanted to change the manager. I'm just... who brought this coming up? Was it you?
You asked Haz and he said yes. Tomorrow he would change Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, no, listen, I would. Yep, 110%, and I'm not ashamed of it.
That's wanting to replace Ange.
Generally speaking, okay, but we would hypothetically, Pep is available. Come on, man. You're
every time. Oh my god! Every time.
Pep is different. I don't know. Listen, I don't mind him clipping that, man. I would say that.
You can keep us saying what Pep instead of Ange is fine. It's fine.
Bro, listen. Look, you know what? Yeah, look. Let me be honest with you. Right now, with what I've seen of Ange, he hasn't really brought me into the process. At least I know Pep's process.
What, TJ? What haven't you seen to get excited about?
Let me be honest with you. Yeah, I'm based on. Look, let me make something clear.
If you're based off results, we've gone and got that.
Not really.
Results. Not really.
Well, can I got a very important stat here while I think of it compared to last season? We're 1 win away, 3 points away from equaling our points tally of last season. 8 games to go. That is a clear sign of progression. We're playing football at this club and the fans want to see. We're going to get results. We're toe-to-toe with Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal at the start of the season, and we're going to be playing Champions League football next season, which no other manager. If Guardiola came in the summer, I think we'd be outside the top 6. So
what? You know what? You're smoking something, bro. You're smiling. You see, I brought that to you're smoking something back in it. Come on, man. If Pep is available, man, you take Pep every single day of night, morning.
Now, like ever. We're talking about
ever, man.
Pep. One manager I would take over Postecoglou right now. Not one manager right now.
You're too in love with him. I think you're too in love with the process so far.
What is it, fucking Ferguson?
He's not up to managing right now. Don't be stupid.
But I would take Sir Alex Ferguson over.
I wasn't even alive when Alex Ferguson was manager of United.
But I would take Sir Alex Ferguson right now if for the experience, 110%.
Mate, Ferguson's the best manager that ever lived, in my opinion. But
yeah, I know. But would he be able to do it now?
Most probably.
I don't know. I don't know. Who knows?
Because I believe we lack experience, man. Experience. We don't have experienced players.
That's on the pitch,
and we don't. And on the byline as well, because you got people like Ryan Mason doing our set piece. Come on, man. Listen, brother. Nah, look. Let's tone it down. Let's go back to like reality and it. Like, look. Generally speaking, if Pep was to be available, you can come Tottenham. I'll open my arms up. But we're with Ange, and again, it's a process, and we just have to be patient. That's what a lot of people tell me. Patience is the best way to life. What were your opinions about us going forward, innit? due to the West Ham game, what was you lot's opinions about us, like, kind of like penetrating their defense? Was it frustrating? I struggled
to you again. I was very bored watching us. We just pass it. Same patterns, the same. Try and walk it into the net. It's just really boring. I don't think we were penetrating them, if that's anyone says it. And it kind of shows them the fact we only had 4 shots on target, and they still had 4 shots on target, despite us having 600 passes almost, and they had 300. So to me, it's like, whatever they're doing with the ball is not effective, because you can't have twice as many amount of passes as the opposition and still only have the same amount of shots on target. That's just criminal. If we're basing this on possession, I know it's possession-based football, but still, like, we're not being effective with the ball. And that's to do with, I think...
Why is that?
The style of the...
It's a style, isn't it?
How are we trying to score goals? How are we trying to score goals?
It's the same stuff over and over again.
Who watches this channel on a Friday, I'm very critical of Son. I don't want him sold, by the way, just before everyone goes nuts.
No, not as criticising Son.
Let him land.
But there was 2 or 3 instances in that game where Son could have shot earlier, yeah? But he delayed. Do you think that's down to Son, or do you think that's down to Ange?
I believe it's down to the tactics. I believe it's what Ange wants to do, because if you realise and it's not just Son, if you realise, how do we create chances? He goes to the wingers, and then the wingers have to either pick out a pass or pass it backwards, right? Now, for weeks and weeks, I've been asking the same question over and over again, and you can go back in every single stream. Even the first game of Ange Postecoglou's career, we've done a preview. I said Ange's system, after watching all the preseason friendlies, I said Ange Postecoglou's system, he struggled to create clear-cut chances. Why is that? I believe we're focusing our attack down the flanks and not really getting the clear-cut opportunities down the middle. And if you look at all our goals we've scored, put a compilation of all the goals we've scored, it's basically the same goals over and over again. It goes to the wingers cross it across, and it's a tap-in. But there's no actual football run through, counter attack. There's nothing like that anymore. We used to be the best counter attacking team. We used to sit back and counter. Where's that gone? Where is that gone? That was when we were scoring goals for fun. Now we're struggling to even open up teams. And at best, let's be totally honest here, at best, the chances that we create are not good enough. Generally not good enough. It's a case of what is it called? Marlon is doing that thing again. We can't see your comment. At best, when we do create chances, generally speaking, it's not like it's clear cut. It's not 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, is it?
We had a few of those over the past month or 2. That's why I remember. They only had that Son one when he hit 2 posts, and we had
and it went back and forward. Yeah, true.
But the problem is,
it's a style.
Problem is that ball we play, the through ball we play, is a lot rarer now. I think at the beginning of the season, Maddison was playing a lot more through balls, but now, obviously, because he's had his injury and that, like I think Maddison kind of covered over all the cracks in the first 10 games.
Do you feel like it's the quality that we have on the pitch? Because there's a few players that are, look, for whatever reason, they're good, they're bad, or whatever, yeah? But do you feel like for us to execute this style, we need the quality to go from here to there? We just don't hamper.
Before I was saying buy fullbacks, but scrap that, because the fullbacks aren't even going to play fullback anymore in this system, so forget it. We need 3 of the attackers, a number 6, and probably another centre half.
But that's basically a whole new lineup again.
Half a team, yeah.
That's like a whole new lineup again. Is that realistic for him to do that in the summer?
It's not really down to him in that sense, really. I mean, if he's
green-lighting everybody, isn't it? So, in the ideal world, let's be honest with you here now. In the ideal world, look, we can hope we can get better in certain areas on the pitch, but realistically, it comes it comes down to Ange and developing. And I hope he takes this season as a lesson, a learning curve, innit? You know, like, cool, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this has to change, you know? Because then, at least from what Harry's saying, we can judge him, you know?
Mm.
I'm on the stance that if he does, I think
if we play the same way next season, TJ, we're in trouble.
We are definitely in trouble. Definitely in trouble. Yeah. I believe so as well, because like I said, all the teams around us are going to get better.
It's not just that. I'm not saying we won't sign anyone good. Like, we might sign people good, but if we're not willing to adapt to games, which is what Ange implies every time I watch him,
we are going to be in definitely trouble.
We're going to suffer, you know.
But Harry doesn't think that. I don't. He hasn't. You know the problem? Okay, cool. Convince me why it's going to be different.
Yeah. Harry, please convince me and TJ why you think it's going to be different.
What, the window?
No, not just the window.
Just next season.
Our direction.
Yeah.
Well, as I said to you before, and I'll say it again, I don't get the negativity at the moment. For me, there's not one thing that I can even think about moaning about. Okay, we didn't beat West Ham. It'd be little things like that. But overall, for me,
like style and like the way we play.
We have to learn to criticize these things because we want better, right? And if we don't criticize it,
I'm struggling to answer the question because I can't really think of anything that's negative. So I can't really convince an opinion that I think an opinion should be there,
and that he'll learn his lesson or something, or this style will suddenly work.
Why against Luton became on the pitch? That's changed.
Obviously, right now, I'm not
accepting
this style will work. I don't know TJ. About TJ, I can't speak for him. But for me, I want you to convince me that this style will work next season.
100%. Really and truly, the template. Before I let you go, Harry, the template. This is how I base football and how I watch football. I can't speak for anybody else but myself. Before I get convinced and before I buy into a process, I have to look at the template. The template right now, at the start of the season, the first 10 games. Yeah, we played well. We were playing well, but when it come down to crunch time and when we need the points necessarily, he accepted the quality, not the cool. Yeah, when it comes to crunch time, we've been losing more games, dropping more points, and struggling to even get goals. Can we equally say that he's struggling to get goals? Because generally speaking, we are struggling to create
goals almost as much as under a worse defense.
Exactly. So, what?
Just
as Harry is saying everything is roses and daisies. Really and truly, I'm criticizing what I'm seeing right now. Right now, I'm seeing us draw to West Ham, struggle to win against Luton, and that's not how I want to see my team. So it's not all guns and roses.
But I'm saying convince us that Ange is the man and convince us that Ange's style will work. That's what I want to hear. Don't just say it's all happy and roses. I just want a convincing argument.
If you let me answer, I could absolutely tell you. Ange Postecoglou in his first season in the Premier League has lost the best striker for me in world football and probably the best player, one of the best in the world right now. And we've ultimately going to be playing Champions League football next season, which none of us thought was achievable. So that for me on its own is big enough. But I think I've been convinced with what I've seen. We've gone toe-to-toe with Liverpool, Man City and Arsenal at the start of the season. We've seen from that 10-game unbeaten run just what this team is capable of. I think we've seen that. It's about producing it consistently. Of course, tweaks are needed. Things are needing changing. But for me, I'm very, very happy with what I've seen. A lot of people say, we're out of both cups. And made one mistake for me, one big mistake so far in his Spurs career. And I've addressed it so many times. I want to talk sport, express my frustration with him and with the idea of doing it. And that was making 9 changes in the league.
I'm talking about around against Fulham. Why is this style going to work? What convinced me, TJ? Why you think this style's going to work?
Okay, and you know what? Let's rephrase the question.
Rather than saying we went toe to toe with these teams, just please convince me.
Let's rephrase.
Hood. Can I just address Hotspur Hood, because there's been a lot of silly comments. I knew he never had Harry Kane. He lost Harry Kane, right? And you would have been the first to say, in fact, I know you were, that we'd be in a relegation battle if Harry Kane left. So some consistency from you in the chat would be a very, very good start, mate.
Let's rephrase that.
Invite you on my channel, or I can come on your channel. We can debate this, but everything is rosy at the moment, and fans just need to be.
Harry, I'm asking my next
Wait. Let me rephrase Haz's question so it kind of like correlates to what Harry's saying. Cool. So the first 10 games, as you said, for what you said, was all happy. Yeah, I can argue the first 10 games or first 6 to 7 games of all of our managers that have actually walked in. Mourinho, Conte, you even got Nuno as well, yeah? Nuno's in this list as well, have been successful. But their system has fallen apart for whatever reason.
Ultra attacking, that's what I mean. Okay.
Cool. Now, what Haz is trying to say and what I'm trying to come across, look. It's, okay, you know what? In fact, let me take a notch down so I can jump onto Harry's level, innit? Cool. Ange's trying to win a title because he's already said that he wants the title challenge next year. The gap of us being title contenders is massive right now. What will bridge the gap? What will bridge the gap next season? Because generally speaking, what we're seeing on the pitch right now against West Ham, against Luton, against Wolves, against all these teams, I can list a lot of teams, innit? Yeah. The gap is massive. We're losing in games that we need to win and are must-win games.
Yeah.
What will change next year? And that's not down to the players. I'm talking tactics. Like, generally speaking, what can he do to improve this team?
That's a good question. For me, it's about knowing when to push for the second goal, when to sit back in certain moments. Like Everton, we were 2-1 up, for example, and we decided to sit back. A lot of fans called for that, but that was the wrong game to do it, because Everton, they're never going to cause you problems going forward unless you sit in and they get a lot of set pieces. We gave them a lot of set pieces.
That is why we dropped. Anyway. I'm just trying to say, I want Harry to convince me this style that we're playing.
I'm trying. I'll get into it.
But see,
TJ said to me, I think we need to change. I fully said that for me, we need to change when to sit back and when not to. And as I said, we've seen Højbjerg come on win 2-0 against Luton. That is a sign of change.
Do you think Harry will do that? Sorry, do you think Ange will do that, Harry? We'll learn.
He's done it. Yeah, he's doing it right now. He's learning every day.
But see, then we get the quote.
His theory of Europe makes sense, exposing the players to more situations so they learn and grow as individuals, as players.
I agree. That's one thing I would agree with what Harry's saying. But the problem with what you're saying, that kind of contradicts what you're saying, is he's already come out and said he won't change how his ways are, and this is the only ultimate way he's going to play. Now, as Tottenham fans, and see this, look, listen, people are going to hate me for this. If your manager is set on one way of playing, for me, I can't agree with this type of stuff. You have to learn to adapt. Like you said, in certain areas, we can press. In certain areas, we need to learn to sit back. And that's exactly your words. I'm using your words to kind of like make my argument. My problem is, even up to the players that we have and the players that we're using, are they the quality to take us to what Ange wants? Because Ange has made it clear that he wants the title challenge next year. We can all agree on that.
But also, Harry, for me, it's more like, because you literally told us early in this stream you would ditch the inverted fullbacks in some situation. I can't remember which one it was, sorry.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
It's been an hour already. And anyway, but do you believe Ange will do that? Because the way Ange speaks, he's never going to ditch the inverted fullback.
No, I don't. And as I've said in previous shows and in previous videos, etc., you have to be flexible as a manager. And that's why Gary O'Neill, for me, has done so well Wolves this season. They are so flexible depending on the situation. I know that. I heard that, and I can't defend that. I said that before. I don't agree with that. However, whatever you think, we mentioned Pep Guardiola already. He doesn't change for anyone. It's just whether you can beat City and the players that they've got. 9 times out of 10, you can't beat Manchester City. So I don't have a problem with. Hang on, I don't have a problem with teams knowing how we play, because beating us is another thing. But if we talked about set pieces earlier, if we learn how to score from set pieces and keep set pieces out the back of our own net, we teach. By the way, you mentioned I forgot to mention it with Vicario. I love Vicario, but he's weak from crosses. But that could be worked on. That could easily be worked on in training. So there's a lot that needs to be worked on. No, I do understand your question.
No, I'm just asking.
I absolutely do.
Style, because Ange, like we just told you just now.
Do I think Ange Postecoglou would do that? No. Can I defend that? No. Would I do it? Yes.
Oh God, I'm saying we all agreed he won't change the inverted fullbacks. We all agreed he won't change the high line. But will this style succeed for us next season? Playing this way.
Can I just answer the Hotspur Hood? Pep didn't change anything against us. They absolutely went for it. They didn't change anything. And if they did, then they're worried about little old Tottenham and little old Ange Postecoglou. Hey, so you can't have it both ways. Honestly,
but then they're going to probably win the league or at least one trophy this season.
No, they're not. They're going to finish third. They're not going to win any trophies.
They won the treble last season, but anyway.
I know they did. Congratulations to them. So much backing. It's expected.
We could do with that. But anyway, but Harry, I'm just saying, convince me this style, because we all agreed that Ange won't change the style. So convince me why this style is going to work. The actual style itself, not the players individually. I don't mind including some of the players to explain it, but convince me why this style, you think this style works. Because obviously, me and TJ, I've already convinced myself I don't think this style works. If he sticks with this,
it's not my job to convince you. It's down to Ange Postecoglou to do it on the pitch, and they've done that so far this season. And they will continue to do that.
But see, Harry, what you need to understand is, he's convinced you, but he hasn't convinced everybody else, right? And when you want us to support a process,
if you're not behind Ange Postecoglou, I think you're deluded.
I never said that. I didn't say that.
Convince me why this style works.
I'm saying.
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying
we've seen it this season.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying, look.
Has not been funny, but it's a silly question. When you've seen that it's worked this season, and we beat Liverpool.
No,
we went to Etihad again. Listen, we went to yes. We went to the Etihad.
How has it worked this season?
Yes,
we lost at home to Wolves. We lost 3-0 to Brighton. We lost 4-0 to Fulham. I can ring off
Antonio Conte and previous managers. Okay, you said that you'd accept bumps in the road if you could see trophies coming, and they are coming. But you did say that. We all will take bumps in the road, but it's about the light at the end of the tunnel. That light is going.
I've been questioning the manager since day one.
Can I just say to people like Scott as well, and anyone that wants to challenge me, come on here and challenge me. You're all this.
I'm waiting for you to ask me a question about the style.
No. But see, Harry, you haven't actually answered Haz's question.
I'm just asking a question.
No, you haven't.
I think we've seen evidence.
You believe it works? Wait. You believe it works?
I don't believe it works.
That's like saying to me, convince me there's a moon or there's a sun in the sky. Just look up and you'll see it.
Bro, listen,
you need to give you any evidence.
No. What he's trying to say, and you know what, the words have to be worded correctly. Let me just reword it, innit? He said, look, how I see football, I have to have a template and I have to judge on that template of play, you know? And what I have to agree with is the style for me. Look, I'm just going to use an example. I'm not throwing Haz's point of view under the bus, but the style is to open, to challenge for the title, which Ange wants to challenge. That's just an example. Now, Haz, correct me if I'm right or wrong. You're basically asking Harry to explain what you see on the pitch, why
you're convinced compared
to why you're convinced.
No, don't
we've seen results.
Harry, don't bring results.
Business.
Don't tell me results. Is he explain to me in-game situation?
What do you want to see? What do you want to see if you don't want to see results? Football's all about.
So you're happy. Okay, cool. But Harry, you're happy with. Harry, you're happy with 1-1 draws to West Ham. You're happy with Wolves
Who said that?
losses. You're happy with Fulham losses. You're happy.
This season lost to Fulham away. That's two inexcusable, two anomalies. And our two anomalies are Wolves and Fulham.
Are you happy? Listen, this is my point. My point of view. Are you happy with the set pieces going in? Are you happy with conceding a lot of chances? Are you happy with not scoring?
I'm not answering that question.
That was wrong. Take that back.
I'm sick of it because I've answered so many questions on set pieces, and I've constantly said that it's a problem. I said it ever since that Everton.
No. I'm not talking about set pieces, Harry. I'm not talking about set pieces. I'm talking about the style itself, the inverted fullbacks, the very high wingers, the fact that we're very congested in the middle. If Andrew's going to stick with this style, please convince me how this is going to work. I'm not asking you to tell me.
My job is not to convince you.
Don't give me examples of league finishes. Don't give me examples of one-off games that we've lost and then one-off games that we won. Convince me why the style itself, the shape, the formation, why you think in the end this will work.
Can I just, Hotspur Hood's getting on my nerves. Can I just say, I don't have access to the link. I'm not signed in. Just saying, I'm not sending you the link. I'm not challenging you. I can't comment. It's not letting me comment, and it's not sending me send the link. I'm someone who's never been all talk. I dislike Stell with a passion. I dislike his opinions with a passion. I went on his show and challenged him for 2.5 hours because I stick to my word.
Harry, wait. Harry. Let's settle this, innit? We can send him the link if you want to send him the link, innit? He can be your guest. The Hotspur Hood, innit? Send me your number, innit? You know. In fact, I don't want to give you my number.
PM me. He's got my number.
He's got your number, yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm sick of I'm generally sick of being called out for this, that, and the other.
Harry,
when I'm consistently
answer my question, please. I'm just waiting for an answer.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want me to say.
Just tell me why the style and the formation will work. That's all I'm asking.
It's working. It's as simple as that. That's like saying
it's working.
Convince me that tree's going to stay up, and it's been up for 25
Why
years.
Why is it working?
You've got clear evidence there. Absolutely ridiculous.
Harry, you're not understanding what I'm saying, bro.
I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to actually.
I send him the link. Anyway,
good.
I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to actually. I don't even know if there's even a way to word your question, because I tried to word it 100 different ways, isn't it? I'm struggling to now. You're saying it's working. What is working? See, it's the same. It's the same type of question.
Football TV is one of the only people with common sense on it.
It's working now. It will work next season. Okay, cool. Wait. Meta. What is working about the system that you're seeing on the pitch right now?
Tactics, please.
I can't.
Let me tell you. Bro, I literally, I'm not going to send my WhatsApp number on here unless. Listen, I was going to invite. Wait, do you have any of us? We could invite you, man.
Put it in the chat. That's the only way it's going to work.
Nah, never. Sorry, bro. Meta Football.
Do you have Harry's number?
Who?
Does Meta have your number or your Twitter or something?
I don't know actually. Let me have a look. It doesn't have my number. I don't give my number away, but it could be on here.
Does he have you on Twitter? I sent Dan the link anyway. He might be saying no.
I honestly don't know, to be honest.
Yeah, look, cool. Let's go on to another topic, because clearly this topic is not getting nowhere, isn't it? Yeah, Kulusevski. What's your opinions about Kulusevski?
Because from what I've watched other YouTube channels recently this week, a lot of people are convinced that Kulusevski won't make it in the system. So TJ, what are your thoughts on him making it or not making it? Or do you think his time is up? Because Napoli have been linked with him this week, by the way.
Look, it's fair for people to just. Okay, the question is, where is he going to make it in the system? Firstly, if you think he's going to be a winger, then clearly he's not going to make it in the system. If you think he's going to be another midfielder in terms of attacking midfielder, take over Madison role, you know, then maybe there's a chance for him to make it in the system. Look, the problem we have right now is a lot of our attacking players are not really performing. Okay, cool. Johnson, let's be honest with you, is in hot form.
He's done well recently.
Yeah. Listen, Johnson. Yeah, that's fine, Harry. Johnson is in hot form, and we can see that a few players are performing at a standard that we would like to see them perform every single week. Again, maybe just better. I am on in the background. Put me in. Yeah, cool. Welcome. Oh damn, Haz has gone. Cool. Back to what I was saying. Sorry. I keep getting distracted. Look, for me, it's a case of I don't think a lot of our players are performing, and we can see it. Like we are struggling to create clear-cut chances. For me, it's about the money. If the money is there, and let's just say it's what 40 million, 30 million, 35 million, I would accept it. I would accept the.
I can't see him in the background.
You can't.
No.
Come back in.
I don't see him. Is this the right link? Give me a second. Just try and send it again.
The link in the group chat, bro.
Yeah, that's what I sent him. I don't
know. Yeah, cool. Yeah, no. Again, it's a case. See, I keep losing what I was saying. Sorry, guys. Yeah, no. Look, again, if it's like 40, 30 million, if he could sign better, I would love to sign better. And that's not me against Kulusevski. Generally speaking, we need a clean out and we need better players to perform in these positions. And if Kulusevski is not cutting it out, it's time to let him go. Generally speaking, I wouldn't prefer to because I think he has a lot to offer. If it's a case of him doing the winger role, then come on, it's brainless. Let's be honest with you. Let's move him on. Harry, what do you think about Kulusevski? Do you feel like he has a future at Tottenham?
Yeah, listen, he hasn't been good enough this season. Let's be very clear. But I'm not going to be one of those fans that goes, "Get out of my club. You've had half a dozen bad games." I think that for his age, he has unreal potential. I just think he suits a counter-attacking style more. And one thing I will agree with Haz, which is once in a century, is that Kulusevski has to be in that number 10 position. Yeah.
I don't know. I might have to refresh it because he's not showing up. I've heard him come in the stream, but I can't see him on it. Cool. I don't know why the stream's playing up, man. I can't scroll down now.
I'm not logged in.
Look, generally speaking, as you were saying, I totally agree with what you're saying. We can't just throw players under the bus. But then again, maybe it's a case of getting better players around him. Have we ever questioned the players that he's playing with just are not good enough? Because you know what? Look, I think a few weeks ago, Marlon done a reaction to. I think it was a game we lost. It was something he compared the stats, and I remember him briefly saying Kulusevski has been creating a lot of chances, and it's just the strikers and the midfielders are not really scoring the chances that he has set on the. So maybe it's a case of getting better players around him. Might be able to, but again, I don't know, man. I'm a bit 50-50 with him because generally speaking, we have bigger problems to worry about for me personally, and I worry more about our winger situation than anything else in it.
Yeah. Oh. Where's everyone?
Damn.
All right, I've got it now. Sorry.
Okay, we're all in, yeah?
Yeah, we're all in now. Okay.
Cool. Big up everybody from joining. Okay, cool. So who do we want to start with, innit?
Sorry about that, guys. I just had to refresh it for it to work. It was doing this stupid shit anyway.
Big up, Chris. How you been, man? You been all right?
Not bad. How's everyone been? Nice to see Danny again. Harry, how you doing?
Hey, you're right.
Yeah, we've been good, man. We've been good, man. Just on the stream talking about Spurs, man. Spurs is a controversial topic.
I've been hearing and I've been typing away. Lovely stuff. It's just difficult. It's just difficult to get the idea down.
Across. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we might come across in one way. We might even be worse in person. But it's difficult just to get everything down typed in such a small space and a small time. So that's
very
why
hard.
I was really happy to come on, to be allowed on. So thank you very much for that. And hello everyone in the chat.
Yeah.
And on the panel.
Sorry about the delay. It's just it was playing up.
Nah,
I
forgive you, man. I forgive you.
Yeah. So
you're muted, by the way, buddy.
Then you're mute, I think.
Who, me? No,
Dan. I think.
Dan.
Oh, Dan. Dan's not saying
Speak
anything.
again. Hold on 1 second. Dan, speak. Nah, we can't hear you, buddy.
But he's on full volume.
Dan. Stop.
Can't hear.
Can't hear you.
Bruh,
Bro, I can't
we
hear
can't
you.
hear
Can't
you.
hear you.
we can't hear you.
He's on full volume. I put him on full volume as well.
Probably have
Is
to
he
go out
muted?
and come back in.
All right, cool. Leave and come back in and try to sort that out. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Come back
So okay, cool. So as Harry was struggling with the question that you asked him a few moments ago, you want to refresh this question to someone that
Okay, Chris, can you answer this question, please? Because so I asked not about results, not about the results we missed, not about because just saying results say this is the reason it works is to me is very bland.
That's evidence.
Well, let me finish. Yeah. So it convinces you by these inverted fullback things, these the ridiculously high line, leaving 2 at the back. How's this is going to work to see us actually win things? Because if we look at teams in the past, defense is the best form of winning titles. Let's be honest. So how's this formation and style convincing why it's going to work?
I'm not sure I follow you about the defense is the best form of. I'm sorry about that. I respect everybody's opinion. I see football differently. I played football since I was 4 years old. I'm a coach. I know a bit. I'm not the Bible, and I'm happy to share what I know, and I'm happy to be educated as well. When the team that doesn't have the ball is the defending team. The team that has the ball is the attacking team. Whether you are the goalkeeper and you have the ball, you are the attacking team, whether you're on your goal line. So this defending and attack, no, right? You score one more goal, you won. It doesn't matter what tactical disposition you have. It doesn't matter if you play inverted, if you don't play.
But you're still not convincing me as to why this style is working, because you just told me it doesn't matter if it's inverted. It doesn't matter.
Just answer the question.
It's relevant because text makes you why this style itself is going to work.
Yeah, but the fact that
what's so special, for example, about the inverted fullbacks is going to come last into top of the league, for example?
No, but I think that what I've heard, okay, is you're not asking the right questions, Hasper. It doesn't. You see what I mean? It is inverted fullbacks going to win you the league? No, but could it? Yes.
Well, here we go again. It's playing up again.
Right.
Trying to add that
because
down.
It depends on the players that you have, and as you brought my comment up, but it depends on the players that you have, and you have to play a certain way depending and relevant on the players that you have. And does not have the players that he needs and he wants to play the way that he wants. You see? Agreed.
Agreed.
I'm not to restart this because it's not turning up again. Okay, sorry.
But carry on what you were saying, bro. Yeah, carry on what you were saying. He's going to jump back in. But carry on what you were saying. You were saying something really important. Carry on.
Okay, thank you. The style, someone was talking about style. A style is not whether you play inverted fullbacks or not. That's a tactical formation.
Decision.
That's a tactical disposition, right?
Yeah, decision. Yeah, correct.
Right. Okay. So first of all, the terminology is what I put up. Define a style. Define tactical.
Yeah. For example, high press, high line, invert. Form.
That's a tactical decision based on.
That's tactics. That's not a style.
Okay? No, because attacking high press is a style.
No, it's not. It's
tactics. Like Poch played a high press style.
Yes, it is a tactics. That's not.
No, because
it's not, mate.
Let me finish. Because people argue, contemplate a negative style or a negative. They would use the word style. Oh, the style's too negative. He's playing 3-4-3 or something.
The word's used in the way though.
To be able to look right. If I sit on a panel that's talking about business, I have to know the basics about what I'm talking about. If I sit on a panel about aviation, I've got to know what the difference between a spoiler and a flapper on is. Okay, I have to know the difference when I'm on a football panel to know the difference between what a style is and what a tactical disposition is and what a technical whatever it is. Okay, right? It's not the same, and we have to know what we're talking about to be able to convey that idea.
All right, cool. Educate us on the differences.
I'm not here to educate. I'm just trying to say that what I've heard is not correct because you're starting. The starting point is incorrect because you're asking the wrong questions. Andy's not going to change because his way, when he started playing football, when he became a manager, he has a predisposition to play in an attacking way of football. That is his style. Whether he uses inverted fullbacks or not is tactical. Okay. Right. I'm not sure whether he used that in Japan. I'm not sure whether he used that in Melbourne. I'm not sure. Okay. But he's only able to use that if he has the right players to do that. Okay. Is he able to do that with Davies? He's tried it, but Davies is not Udogi. Udogi is not Zinchenko. Zinchenko is not Kolarov. Kolarov is not
agreed.
Left back you want. Okay.
Yeah, no.
So, right. So you can
guys, I'm gonna have to refresh it. Just told your Fox to add Dan on because it's not letting me add Dan on.
Do you mean refresh?
Yeah,
because he needs to jump back in and jump back out. That's how you
refresh. Again, refresh doesn't exist when it comes to this.
What are you talking about?
The thing.
He needs to add Dan back in, innit? So do what you're doing, innit? Do what you're doing, bro.
I have to do it. Sorry, man.
Yeah, cool. Carry on. Do what you're doing.
Refresh.
Okay. Sorry. It's all right. It's refreshing. It's not a problem. It's There's Dan.
There we go.
Cool.
Right, can you hear me now?
Cool. Dan, can you hear you?
Dan, brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
You can hear
we
me
can
now,
hear you.
yeah?
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly.
It's just a silly.
Let me get to a point here. First things first, yeah? Harry, do not make a statement about me when you ain't got a clue, mate, yeah? I was the one who went on here and went against Sava, went against Perchie, went against every other person out there and told them, I want Harry Kane gone. I never stated once. I think I even spoke to you before, TJ, didn't I?
Yeah.
And has
many times.
You on Tom's show, also Chris. I was the one who stated I want Harry out because I feel we can play better as a team without Harry Kane. Not just
challenging that though. I'm not challenging that.
Yes, you did. You stated on there. I was one of the ones who said
properly. Then no, you didn't read the comments properly. I challenge your expectations at the start of the season. I don't know if anyone else owns Hotspur. There's a comment I saw on X. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I stated. You've twisted it.
That I said we would get relegated if Harry Kane went. Did he not just say that?
Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize you were linking it to that.
You did say that, Harry.
I never did
say that, yeah.
I never ever said that. I always said I want Harry Kane.
Can I just confirm one thing? Does anyone else own or tweet or admin from Hotspur Hood?
What's that?
No.
Very simple questions. Yes or no?
My own outlets.
No. Why would I admin for Hotspur Hood?
No.
I'm asking Dan if anyone else is an admin for Hotspur Hood.
Yeah, my mate.
By 2 or 3 people. Is this a very simple question?
My mate confusion for me. I took over the page from my mate Tom. Haz has been in there with me when I blatantly stated to Haz that I wanted
Harry, Tom used to own the channel. He doesn't own the channel anymore.
Well, the comment probably maybe it was made by him. So in that case, I apologise. But it was made by Hotspur Hood on what is now X. I don't know who it was.
That's me.
That's Dan.
Yeah, but was it you in the summer who made the comment?
No, that was me. That was my one. Right. I never ever stated that we would get relegated without Harry Kane. I said I feel we play better as a team without Harry Kane because we won't just be reliant on one player. Yeah,
and I agree with that.
I'd give anything to have him back right now for the way that it's all gone tits up front with this brilliant attacking football that we play and this excellent defence that we've got with these world-class defenders and goalkeeper, and we concede more goals than we did with Conte. Right. So, and if Angie's this much of a great manager and that, yeah, we got to give him time. I'm all right with a fella at the moment, but he's got a tenfold better team, bar a striker, than Conte.
Than anybody else has had. Yes, it's 100. That's a fair point.
Yeah,
we know
that.
Let me make my points, and then you can go through them. Yeah, right. He's got a tenfold better defense, concedes more goals. He's got a 10 times better keeper, concedes more goals. He's got a much better midfield. They can't control the bloody game. His only weak spot is a striker, and Son is still putting enough in the back of the net. Yeah, Angie's style is not going to work in this Premiership. Why? Because the Premiership is too good for Angie's style. When you go and play against teams like Liverpool, City, Arsenal, when Chelsea pulled their finger out, having your team sitting nearly on that halfway line is going to get you destroyed. When you ain't got Van der Ven on there, your only player who can cover the system for you, as soon as he's gone, we are screwed. When you've got inverted wing backs sitting as number 10s, taking it up so that Maddison has to come back because he's got no space, yeah, we might go and beat a Newcastle. We're going to do a Villa. We'll even have a good game against the odd Liverpool. But 9 times out of 10, that style of play is not going to get us close to a league, but it can win us a cup. He stands there and he waits on average till we're like, what was it with Fulham? 3-0 down before my man makes a decision to bring a sub on. 3-0. And that's about, and then he brings on 3 subs. And that's about the third time he's done it. Last game, his subs were terrible. If he'd have took Maddison off 15 minutes earlier, brilliant. But he takes him off when he's getting into the bloody game.
So you see the frustration that we have, innit? This is why me and Haz have...
He made good subs. Yeah, okay, he's got a lot to learn. But on the other side of it, everyone slated Conte and still does
for the same stuff.
Wouldn't change his way, this and that. The only two differences between Ange and Conte. Ange plays attacking football and Ange says things nicely. Conte says it how it is. Now put me otherwise. Your turn.
You know what? That is really, before you guys go in it, because obviously me and Haz already we have our standpoint in it. This is thrown at obviously Harry, Scarf and Chris.
I'm still waiting for
their assessment.
I think Dan the same way.
Not being funny, Haz, I respect you as a person, but it is a pathetic question. You see the evidence. Your question that you put forward earlier is not worthy of an answer. There is no answer you can give to it. The evidence is on the pitch.
Mate, I just put 5 points over to you. Don't divert. Come on to my 5 points that I just put to you.
Okay, well, we should address them each individually. I don't agree with much of what you said. One thing I did agree is that you... Well, if you so simple as that.
Give a solid reason what I have not said is not a fact. I have given you 5 facts. So tell me my facts are wrong and prove me wrong.
I will. Firstly, you're right about Fulham. You're absolutely right in terms of the changes. These in-game management he needs to improve. But what I will say to you is, why did we go toe to toe with Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool at the start of the season? We got a point at the Etihad. Arsenal now, in the words of Arteta, is a massive step forward. We're doing that in the first year under Ange Postecoglou.
And then in our first 10 games, when he gets totally sussed, we get the floor wipe with us every time, and everyone susses us out. Just sit back, just wait. We have all the ball and everything, which makes us look like we're doing the job properly. When we're not doing nothing, we're just playing into their way. And then they catch us on a counter-attack every time. They catch us on our naked flanks every time. Or they catch us. It's the same goals every time.
Every single time. Yeah, that's true.
Blatantly stated, I will not change my style of football. What's the difference between what Conte done then? Conte got the most crap team ever with a busted-up Son and a very good Harry Kane, apart from that, and took him to 4th to get him in the Champions League, which I don't even think Alex Ferguson or Pep could have pulled that crap off with the defence he had, with Royale on the right and bloody Davis on the left, and Sanchez in the middle with Eric Dyer, and then, Longley. If that had been Ange now, we would have been fighting relegation.
Now, the problem we have, and Harry, I've been streaming with you for a long while. You know what? I'm glad that someone else has jumped on, because I can't lie to you. Now, my brain has awoken. We moved the pulse back so far each year, you know, and previous managers do the same thing every single year, you know. You mentioned, Harry, performing first 10 games was amazing, but we're still in this dilemma of us going forward. We're not going forward. We're going 2 steps forward, 1 step back all the time. The question we still haven't asked. Sorry?
2 steps forward, 1 step back. That's still progress.
How? That's all we're after. 1 step back, Harry.
Well, come on. You haven't even come to my points yet. You've told me that mine weren't right, and I've You haven't.
You have to explain why, Harry. That's what we want.
That's what I want. I want reason.
Right, Chris.
I'm not giving you opinion. I've just gave you facts. So prove my facts wrong. I don't want an opinion. I want fact. For you
To be honest, I don't really know what you want me to say, because in terms of like evidence on the pitch, we've seen it now with performances, we've seen it now with results. So for me, it's simple as that. But what I will say about Antonio Conte is he left the club in a worse place than what he came into. Yes, top four was really good what he got, and I don't think any other manager at that period of time could have got it. But all of us went, well done, Conte, for that, and we all celebrated it. So
Harry,
you just in Champions League.
The majority of the people were bringing his style of play and said, we don't like this counter-attacking football and everything. He had no other option what to play because his team was crap.
And I agree with that. And I absolutely agree with that. And I think football's a results-based business, and Antonio Conte, his first season, done a good job.
So I'm with you on this one then. If Angie's way of playing football is so good, has Ange got to adapt and change his way to the Premiership?
As I've said already in this show, he's got to adapt things like, the inverted fullbacks against low block teams. That's because causes congestion in midfield, like I said, Maddison and Bentancur, who work best with the room. So yes, there needs to be tactical tweaks, but I think overall in Ange's first season, it's been very, very positive, better than any of us on this panel would have expected. But of course, changes are needed, and changes are needed in each game.
Okay, I'll give you part of that one.
Okay.
Now let me challenge you on this one then, and go for this one.
Please do.
Yeah?
Go on.
If it's working so well and everything and that, yeah, we've got no one who can cross the ball, and the man can blatantly see it. Don't tell me Johnson can cross that ball. He can't. Maybe 1 out of 10.
We don't look for crosses. We don't play that way though. That's a big part of it.
And that is why we are getting nothing, because we're so clogged up in the middle. We've only got one player who can cross the ball. We've only got one player who can cross a ball, and that is Porro. Mm-hmm. And he blatantly plays better as an overlapper, not an underlapper. Kulusevski is not a bloody winger. He's an attacking midfield central. I told everybody on this and had rows about it 10 months ago when everyone told me I didn't have a clue. Well, go watch a bit of Serie A and see what he done at Juventus with Ronaldo. Then, they took him off the wing because he couldn't do it. Got Chiesa there, stuck him about 8 games later as attacking midfield central, sort of a bit of a false 9. And Ronaldo loved him off because he could do his job there. He's left-footed. Why are we sticking him as a far right winger? He can't do it. It's not his position. He don't play it for Sweden. We need to cross that ball in that box because we haven't got no one, bar Maddison, who hasn't been on form since he's been injured, who can put in a nice through ball on there, who can open...
Can I ask a question linked onto what you just said, Dan?
Go for it, mate.
If Kulu could cross it from the left, for example, and you had a good crosser from the right, and if we actually played that way, which we don't, which Harry is right, we don't play that way. Yeah. Who is gonna deliver the end product in the team if you don't have an out-and-out number 9 striker?
So then, is the issue Son as well?
We've got two.
Is the issue Son then?
We've got
because Son has been playing.
Son, you can't rely on someone that's like 5'9" or whatever he is.
That is why you have someone like Richarlison, and I don't like Richarlison. Yeah, but what is Richarlison's strongest point in the box? What is his strongest point?
Headers.
So he needs some crosses in there off a crosser, doesn't he? We need a winger, and we have Porro, who is the only one who can perform a decent cross on a regular basis.
Good, fine. So why isn't Richarlison playing above Sonny then? Because you don't play that way. And if you don't play that way, you can't use. There's no point in putting a 6'4" striker as a target man if you don't play that way.
Okay.
But
when you do play that way, because we do, like he did with Liverpool, when we just could not get it in there, he blatantly pulled him over. Let me finish. And went Kulusevski, middle. Porro, up here. What happens? Kulusevski gets the ball, puts it out wide to Porro. Porro drills it in, and he gets a nice rebound.
Yes, Dan. But you're talking about moments during the season.
I'm talking about adapting in a game when you have to, when it's not working your way, instead of waiting until you're 3-0 down.
That was a mistake. We all know that against Fulham. The substitutions should have come earlier.
We know this. Even I concede to that instead of waiting until the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes, even 30 minutes to make substitutions, yes, his in-game management should be better when it comes to substitutions. I agree and I concede. And I wonder why he takes so long sometimes.
Yep.
But he's a manager of 30 years. He knows more than all of us all of us put
No,
together.
let me confront that.
And yes, Dan, I'm sorry. I cannot concede that you, who is a nobody, and myself, who is a wafer licensed coach.
But managers for 30 years, I agree with what you're saying. Right. No, bro, I totally agree with what you're saying, but 30 years can make mistakes, though. They can make mistakes.
Right, let me put it to a different side. Manager of 30 years in what? Japanese league, Australian league, and the Scottish league.
It's so disrespectful to condemn
what
people have done. I've listened to you.
It's fact.
I've listened to you, please.
Go on, mate.
It is so disrespectful to condemn what people have done and achieved throughout their lives. You can only beat what is in front of you. Okay.
Right.
I agree with that.
Right.
But
so, I'm sorry.
You can't
on the flip side, no, he has a point. No, Dan has a good point. On the flip side, you have to look at what he's done and where he's done it.
I was waiting for. But anyway.
No. What I was just about to say, you can carry on. I just want to add to what you were saying. But on the flip side, we can accept that where he's done it and where he's played, it's a different type of gravy in the Prem.
We know that.
You can't compare one to the other unless you're top 5 leagues, where you can sort
of
compare.
Scottish league is top 5 league.
Scotland get rated lower than the German second league.
No.
So you can't say that because
you're not letting Chris finish. You're not letting Chris finish his point. He hasn't finished what he's saying.
No. Carry on with what you were saying, Chris. Sorry about that.
Is that what Hasper was saying. I think I caught a glimpse of what Hasper was saying. You can't compare. He hasn't been there because you can't compare because he hasn't been there or something. Was that correct?
No. I'm saying because you said it's you just beat what's in front of you, right? Okay, I'll give you an example. Let me finish. If we had Marco Silva as manager of Spurs, for example, right? We can't sit here and say this guy doesn't know what he's doing because he's had X number of years of Premier League experience, right? We're seeing with a manager who's only had experience in the J League, the Scottish League, and other leagues, which are much lower quality than the Premier League, which we all know is unpredictable, blah, blah, and one of the highest top 5 leagues, like you said, in the world. So he's coming from something which probably is like, 20th, 30th, whatever.
That's not.
And he's jumping 15 places or 16 places.
Correct. Which is why what he's doing is more valuable than people give him credit for. Because he is a manager of 30 years doing it somewhere that is not comparable to the Premier League. And if he wins, he could lose or draw. He's got 33.3%. Right? If he wins the game in hand, he goes 4th in a league that he has no experience in, coming from absolutely nowhere. Right? So without the tools, without the tools that he hasn't got, that he will no doubt get, supposedly, right? Mm-hmm. Because he's working with Johan Langer, he's working with all these guys, right? So he will get the tools that he needs to fulfill the way he wants to play. His style is his style is unnegotiable, right? Okay, but the players he needs to fulfill the way he wants to play, tactically and stylistically, will hopefully come in, yeah. And
what?
There will be a
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? You're just mentioning something. Yeah. So you're saying hopefully he will get the players and the right players to play his system and whatever. Yeah, cool, perfect. Yeah. What are you basing that down on? Are you basing it down on? Sorry, say that again.
I didn't say anything.
It's you, mate. I think it's you.
Was that me?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Cool. I lost what I was saying. Yeah, no. You were saying he's got talking about getting the right players in, right? Mm-hmm. The problem that I have, and this is just my honest opinion, is the track record of Levy. We've seen him come to this point in the path where he doesn't get the right players in, where he doesn't back the manager, where he doesn't give him the right tools in order for him to succeed. Mm. Now, instead of blindly putting faith in Levy, you can obviously see that his style is working, right? Obviously, this is why you're on here. You believe that his style is working.
Correct.
Do you think there's anything I can improve on? That's one thing I would love to say. If you say yes, what things can he improve on? And do you think that next year, as he said in multiple statements that next year he wants to go for the title? Do you think that's realistic? Because that's what he said. This
Right.
is quote unquote.
That's what he said. Is it realistic from my point of view as a manager in his second year against a City that has been doing it for 8 years, a Liverpool that has been doing it for 8 years, an Arsenal that would have been that would be doing it for now 6 years under Arteta, if currently things stand their way? Of course, Klopp is leaving, etc. But they have a continuation. They have a blueprint. Spurs have got a blueprint, or hopefully have got a blueprint in Ange. So you're talking about one season against 6, 7, 8 years.
Of course,
right?
yep.
Is it realistic to win the title against that? No, right? Is it his aim and desire as a winner, as a competitor, as a manager of what he has, his desire for himself as a manager, for the club, for the fans, for everyone to win that title? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
And do you know what else?
Is it realistic? Well, Leicester won the league and it was 5,000.
That was
so. Is it possible?
Yeah.
Yes.
And do you know what?
Is it
I've done my
realistic?
Euro tickets tonight. It's my ambition to win the European lottery as well. It ain't going to happen. Right. Let me put you right on a couple of other points there. Then I agree with.
I don't need to be put right, Dan. I have an opinion. It's not right or either right or wrong. It's just an opinion.
I was literally just saying, if you let me finish, I agree with everything you just said.
I didn't hear you. I do apologise.
Yeah, that's because you jumped in when I was finishing, telling you that.
Okay, if you want to pick, if you're going to pick, Dan, calm down. If you're going to pick everything I'm going to say, just because I didn't hear you, I'm going to go because I don't want to. I was
agreeing with you. I was agreeing with you,
and I apologise because I didn't hear you.
That's fine.
All right, cool. It's fine. Yeah, go on, Dan. Yeah, carry on.
What we need, and what we need to understand, is that us getting in the Champions League this year is probably the worst thing that can ever happen to Spurs. Why? Because like a debate I had last night, nothing is ever going to change at Spurs. Why? Because we have an income of £500 million. Levy gets his job done and gets his 3 million bonus, treats every bit of fans out here like a complete pile of whatever you want me to call it, and still goes and gets his bonus. The fans still go to all the games and that, and they will still be getting their money because Tottenham is not a football. Tottenham is not a football. Tottenham are a business.
Yep, it's true.
Through. And if we get that Champions League, Levy's got his money, he's happy. Why do we need a new striker? Well, we just got Champions League. We don't need a new striker. Yeah, you can have 30 mil now instead of 50 mil. You know how Levy works. If anyone sees this any other way, then I don't know what they've been watching for 24 years at Tottenham. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Given time, we need to build up. Oh, we get that stadium and then we do this. Oh, we get this and do that. And he just rolls it on and on and on. He's not going to support him to the extent that he needs to be able to put a serious confrontation on that league.
That's my point. Where is all this blind faith coming from? Because as Chris said,
TJ, where's your negativity coming from? We can look at this.
I'm realistic. Look. I'm not negative. I'm realistic.
Why are you bringing up the past? I couldn't care less about the past.
The past is so important. Wait, hold on. The past. Wait, listen. I spoke about this a few weeks ago. The past is so important because that assesses where your success is going. And if you're falling under the past, so let's just say next year, I decide to buy a house. Yeah. Last year I didn't have a house, so I'm technically doing something good. If I'm staying the same, you only build. Look, you're quite young in it, but I base myself. Every year I need to improve. This is just me personally. Every year I need to improve. So you have to base the past on the past as a template. I don't know where all this blind faith is going on because Chris mentioned something and he said we need the right players to come in. I'm not cherry picking what you said, but I'm just using it as an example. So please don't think I'm attacking you here, yeah? But you, I'm just using it as an example. So you said we need the right players to come in, right?
Correct.
Well, we have seen that Daniel Levy doesn't back the managers. For the last 5 years, we've struggled to get the best players in our look. I remember when we had the best defense. We had Danny Rose, Vertonghen, Toby Alderweireld, Kyle Walker. We were about 2 signings away from doing something special, in my opinion, you know. But because like Daniel Levy wanted to go cheap, he didn't want to get the right players. And we got the Ng's, the Nkudus. You know, we got the because it was a cheap option. My point is this: where is all this blind faith? Is it because it's a new manager and a new stage in?
No.
I don't know.
To me, it's got nothing to do with the stadium.
Nothing. What do I employ you on in a job? You come to me for a job, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What do I check up?
References, your CV, all that sort
Which
of stuff.
is what?
Your past.
Your history. Yeah. And that is what I judge you on. That is why people are so realistic about Spurs. Because if you're going to be realistic about being a Spurs supporter, you're going to be negative. Because there's nothing positive to bring up apart from we've been in a Champions League final and we've, like, what was it?
That's a big achievement, though, to get to the Champions League final. Not many clubs do that.
No, I know that. I'm agreeing with that. But we still ain't got nothing to show for it. Pochettino,
not yet, no.
So I think we judge what I have seen. So the history does count. So you can't blame no one for being negative when there's all they've seen in the past years is one cup, and even how great Poch was.
You can't be negative about this season, though. You can't be negative about this season. I get the past, but this season I don't get any negativity. You can't, Haz. I know you are, because you're an exception. If you are a manager with the championship, some of your ideas.
You pick out the good points, and I've picked out many a good point about Ange. You've also got to have the bad points. That's just life, yeah? When a player plays that well, you tell him, mate, you have played the dogs. You are good. When he plays crap, you tell him. If you want your team, you want your squad, you want your company, whatever, to be the best, you do what Alex Ferguson would have done. And that is if Man U would have gone 37 games unbeaten and then won the league by 30 points and then got banged up 3-0 at the end in one game, he would have gone off his nut because it's not acceptable, because he wants him out and out win. The problem with a majority of the Spurs fans that I talk to and see here, there and everywhere is they're too accepting and too hopeful. You can live on hope all your life. I mean, we've all got a bit of hope.
Yeah, but isn't that two way? Isn't that two way as well? Because if you're hopeful that because you've got the experience or whatever you the feeling you have, the perception of negativity, because it's inbred for so long, Levy's not going to do this and Levy's not going to do that. Okay, well, what if it changes because Ange's a different beast?
Okay.
Because hang on. Because Levy
has put up that call.
Which one?
Has never.
Scott. Yeah, carry on what you were saying. Sorry.
Levy has never had a manager like Ange. I don't think anybody has had a manager like Ange, because Ange talks the talk, you see, and he knows how to do. As I don't know him personally, but what I see is that what he needed, right? And I said this. Oh, well, okay.
Do you mean this one, TJ?
Yeah.
And I said that. On another channel, I think last night, I think it was, that what if the Mourinho signing was cheaper than a rebuild after the Champions League final, just to appease the fans? Okay, you know what I mean? So instead of the overhaul that we really needed after the Champions League final, the heartbreak, the breakdown in whatever Levy had with Poch. Right, it's just cheaper to not do an overhaul and sign Mourinho, even if he's on 15 million a year. Right, it's cheaper to get Conte and just do shit football all the time, because they're not long-term managers. They're here and now winners, serial winners. Yeah, we don't get anything with them, right? And it's just a floating idea, okay, that I'm pushing out there, just to appease the fans, just to shut them down. Isn't that a shrewd businessman?
But can you, Chris? Okay, Harry needs to go. So do you want to go?
Yeah, I need to be on the cheese room at 8:55. So thank you very much. Big up all of you, and thank you for today.
Okay, all right,
Harry.
Yeah.
Harry, see you later, man.
Yeah.
Big up. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
See you later.
Take care.
Okay. Bye.
So I've quite a few rebuttals to what Chris has said.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that's okay. So number one, about Ange, because you mentioned how he's brave to use this style of football in this league and blah blah. But my argument is that this style of football has worked in much lesser leagues. No one I see in the let me finish. No one I see in this Premier League or in La Liga or in Serie A plays these inverted fullbacks and ridiculously high line. So obviously, this formula to me, when I see the evidence all around the world, let's say all around Europe, has not been implemented anywhere else. It's not worked anywhere else. So what means that this guy's super inventive, right?
What do you mean it doesn't work anywhere else?
I just said it doesn't work it works in lesser leagues, but I've never seen a top 5 league like you mentioned. Imagine those top 5 leagues use the same system and got it to work.
There's 2 teams that play in the Premier League that use the inverted fullbacks.
Who?
Man City and Arsenal.
City don't use inverted fullbacks.
They don't now
They
because
not
they
use
play 3 at
inverted
the back.
fullback.
They
No,
play
what
3
they
at the back
do
now,
is in
sometimes
certain
4,
things they do
and
it.
they do play inverted fullbacks because Pep was the first one to use it, and Arteta
Yeah.
was the second one to use it.
But
So-
not the way
I'm
Ange
sorry,
uses
but-
it. Ange uses it, they use them as like number 10s.
No,
I don't care
Strikers.
if they use it as, they don't use it as number 10s because the 10s are creative players and the fullbacks are not creative players. They are used to go into the channel to make space so that the low block that we play against are open, and you have to target your weakest players, opponents, which is why they push up through the channel. Okay, they are not used as number 10s. Okay, I am sorry. Like, I don't know where you get this crap
I
from.
agree with
They
what
are
you're
not
saying.
used as number 10s.
I agree with what you're saying, but you know, you get quotes from Madison saying the problem with us creating chances is because the inverted fullbacks there's not that much space. Tell me what he said. He said something on the lines of there's not enough space because they get in the way, right? Or something,
Yeah, of course.
something
But
on the
that
lines
doesn't
of
mean
that,
they
right?
use the number 10s.
They even blatantly say it on the TV that they're getting in the number 10 position. But the idea is not to play as a number 10. Chris is right on what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I phrased it wrong. I'm trying to.
No, I'm telling him he's right on what he said because Pep was the one who started it and started doing this thing, but he didn't get them to drill so hard into the middle. He still sort of got them in the middle, but with a little space. So Kevin De Bruyne still had the space there, whereas Maddison ain't got the space there because he's so blocked up. Now,
Yes.
in the way it is and the way it works, Pep changes his styles depending who he's playing. That is what a good manager does. He's got his main style of play, his plan A. But Pep has also got a plan B and plan C. So has Klopp. Even Arteta has a plan B now. Ange don't have a plan B. He might make a little twerk here and there, but he has blatantly stated, I am not changing my style of play. His style of play is it's not going to work in the Premiership. The Premiership is too good for him to play that way consistently. Certain teams, when Van der Ven's missing, we cannot cover that high press. We can't. So what does a person with any common sense, let alone a quality manager, do? He goes and tells the defence, sit back 5 yards, sit back 8 yards a bit. Don't go so far forward because otherwise you're just going to get the ball, keep getting bombed over you. And where we got no wing backs, we're going to keep getting it put down the wings because we're pressed so high forward and we haven't got Van der Ven to save our life like he has done how many times. That is what you call adapting to a game. And then when you're a team that you know is super fast on the wings and super fast forward, you don't tell your defence to sit up there all the way and get caught out every time. You have to have a sort of plan B to certain clubs. Or if it's not working your way in the game, you go to your plan B or you make your adaptations. You can't just play the same way against every club and expect it to work because it won't.
And that's why we should criticize Ange, to be honest with you, because he's made it clear that he has only one way and one style to play, and regardless of
but that goes back. Sorry, TJ, but it goes back to a style is not the same as a tactical disposition. Okay, a style. What kind of style does, as Hasbro said before, what style does Fulham play? What style do they play? Now, what tactical disposition did they use against Spurs? Okay, they're two totally different things: a style of football and a tactical disposition. Okay, I knew that we were going to lose against Fulham. Why? Because they exposed the wings. What do we relinquish our wings and the space behind our fullbacks? Why? Because we invert them and they go down the channels, right? And what do? They play the triangle from the right back into their centre mid, and they go out to the wing, right? And that is exactly what they do. They play the triangle. And what do? We have that exposed. Fulham are always going to beat us tactically, okay? But stylistically, okay, we play more attacking football than them. It's just that they have the players to do that properly with a manager that has been there 2 years minimum. I don't know how long he's been there after Everton. 2 years, 3 years, perhaps. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Ange has been here 9 months, right? I'm not defending Ange because I love the man and I want to marry him. Okay. I just analyze it. I analyze it like football wise, right? Okay. If you want to talk about Palace, we'll talk about Palace. You want to talk about Borussia Dortmund, we'll talk about them. It's all about football for me. I don't care, right? Ange is learning. Ange is learning on the job, right? The same as he probably had to do, and he probably wanted to do for the type of person that he seems like he is. He's learning on the job. You think we're going to lose against Fulham next season?
I'm not too sure, but the way
I'll say from now.
But the way we've been playing recently, if this form carries on, maybe.
But if I think that he's the manager he is, we will not lose against Fulham.
But then you just told me, but Chris, he said to us he won't change, right? And you just told me that Fulham exploited these areas that we left.
Yeah.
So he's not going to change. We're assuming he's going to do the same thing. We're assuming he's doing the same thing. The next season we're going to lose to Fulham again.
We won't. Because you will learn.
He's not going to change.
Let me give you another reason then. Let me give you another reason, yeah? Why Ange's style will not work for winning a Premiership. A cup, yeah, maybe.
But it has.
But it hasn't. Because we haven't. I said winning the Premiership.
And Pep Guardiola's got 5 of them.
But we ain't Pep Guardiola, and he ain't Pep Guardiola.
No, but the style is that football.
Let me give you my point. Every game we play with his style, we've kept 2 clean sheets in about 24 games. Is it now?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter? Conceding goals matters. You are not going to win a league. You are not going to win a league when you are conceding 50 goals a season. You're not going to do it. And his style of play, you're going to concede goals. His style of play is basically you score 3, we score 4.
We score more. Yeah.
You've got a team like Liverpool had or like Man City had. It will never, ever work. Because you could probably have the greatest defence on the planet on there with the best goalkeeper there, and you're still going to concede 40
And
goals.
the problem we have as well, you made a good point. You score 4, we score 5. That is really good. But then who we're linked to? We're linked to players like Werner. Players, these players are not technically at the top level of their game, So even if we was to because I'm hearing that they want to spend 15 million on Werner. And I don't know what you've seen and I've seen. I just don't think he's the quality that we need to go forward, personally.
He's a poor man's son. He's a poor man's son. He plays exactly the same way as Son. He does everything the same as Son. Use his pace when he was on the left anyway. Invert, get in there, get a goal, whatever else. He does exactly the same as Son. It's just he can't finish come love nor money and he can't pass. All right, he'll get a tap in now and again. But then again, he'll have an open goal 5 times and he'll put it wide. We all know Timo Werner is not a finisher. He's not. That is why he ended up leaving Chelsea. That is why he ended up at Leipzig. And that is why he ended up on the bench. And that is why he's ended up at Spurs worth 15 million if we want him. Because he's crap. So, where are we going to go with that one? Nowhere fast. Until we have got a team that is not far off world class, that style is not going to work.
This is why I'm on the... Oh, go on and go for it. Sorry. Go for what you were saying.
No, sorry. I just said the style has just been winning leagues. When you're looking at Liverpool, when you're looking at Man City, Arsenal could win the league. Either 3, I'm not sure. We don't know what's going to happen in the last 8 games. That style, that brand of football has been winning leagues consistently for the last God knows how many years.
How is
the
it?
Style of football.
Pep does not push the ball up that high. He does not push his defence that high up the pitch.
That's a tactical decision. It's not a stylistic decision.
Yeah, but a tactical decision. But see, we have to criticise. Okay, cool. Agreed with what you're saying. If it's a tactical decision, the tactical decision has left us open time and time out again. We haven't had a clean sheet. He's made some clear points in it. Clean sheet in how many games?
2 in 24, I think it is.
It's rubbish. It's rubbish. We have to call it for what it is.
We've got one of the worst defences in the Premiership. Yet everyone bigs up. We've got a quality keeper. We got we got one good wing back who can tackle and go forward, and we've got a very good wing back who can go forward, but I don't class him as
the reason why we have a quality keeper is because he's put in time and time in again in difficult situations where he has to clear us out. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind. Look, he's really good in terms of the goalkeeper's really good in it. But do you feel like he'll be facing these many searches if the back line was 10 yards back? Because for me personally, I believe our defense puts him under a lot of pressure, a lot of pressure and unnecessarily pressured. Hold on, sorry.
Amazing. Van der Ven manages to get back every time, and Van der Ven isn't going to be about for too long. I'll tell you why. Because he's going to get that. I'll guarantee it. I'll put money on it now. The way he plays football, he's going to do a Michael Owen. And what happens?
His legs are going to go.
He's going to rip his hamstring, good and proper, and he's never going to be the same player again. He's a brilliant defender, but a lot of him comes down to his pace. And when you've got players that have to bomb their pace off just like that, you can guarantee it, his hamstring will snap. Not just rip, it will snap. When we haven't got Van der Ven on there, we look a liability anyway because no one's got the pace to come back. Dragusin, he's going to be good. He was very good in Italy, but he ain't got the pace. Romero ain't got the pace. So when you're pushing that high up and relying on one defender who's got the pace to come back,
no wonder why he gets injured.
That won't be happening next season. Yeah, but that won't be happening next season.
Why not?
Why? Because if he gets the players that he needs, you will be able to bolster the midfield, which is the first line that you have before your defence. And you can smile and you can do what you want, but this is the fact. The first line of defence is your attack. Okay. And as I said before, the team that doesn't have the ball is a defence. Okay. Right?
Yeah, we understand that.
Well, I'm glad you've learned something because when you have
don't talk to me like I'm stupid.
I'm not talking about
you're being disrespectful. You're being disrespectful. You said, "Oh, I'm glad you're."
I'm not being disrespectful. I say, okay. I'm saying that when you have a midfield that has no contention players, right, your midfield is going to be exposed, which is why you see Pedro Porro sitting in midfield, okay, when Udogie goes forward. Because you have to bolster the defense. Okay, so it's not exactly true that when two inverted fullbacks go forward, you lose two defenders. It's not true because both of them don't go forward at the same time because the team cannot afford to lose two players at once. Either one goes forward and the other one sits in midfield to bolster that defense, or the other one does and the other one sits in. Okay, so it's not true. So you instead of having a flat line, a flat back four, you have a cage, right? Which is the number 6, whoever that may be, Sarr, Bissouma, Betancourt, whoever you want to put there, and the other inverted fullback, all right? With the two centre backs, you make a cage because the idea of the manager is they can attack us down the wings if they want because the furthest route towards your goal, your own goal, is down the wings, is not through the centre. So Ange is not as stupid as he may look to many people, but he is covering the centre of the pitch and letting the opposition go down the wings, right? That is why he puts so many people in midfield. Sorry?
And keep scoring goals like it, because we've been conceding them all season. I don't.
It's a process, Dan. It's not a finished product.
It's not working.
Yes.
The Premiership is not going to work when you've got your defence pushed up that high all the time. We
understand that.
What I've learned from speaking to you, Chris, and thank you for coming on as well. I really appreciate off this topic. I know it might be heated about if Ange's style is going to work, but I really appreciate you coming on. What I've learned from what you're saying, we need the players in place. My concern is Levy going to provide the players?
Yeah. And I get that as well because he's got a very, very bad track history of backing the project that really hasn't existed. It's all been exactly what Dan is saying. It's the fans are customers and it's just a business and he doesn't care. And I totally get that. And the track history of Levy is there and it's factual and it's there to see. But and the news has come out recently about the new hotel and this, that, and the other. And I said it on the stream the other day. I don't care about that. I'm not a businessman. I like to talk about football, and I like to talk about the green, and I like to talk about why Ange, and that's why I was so adamant to come on, because I think you're what I saw was great. You're passionate, has Spurs passionate. I've heard about has Spurs, and he's a great guy and loves to talk about football. And I don't really know about you, TJ. I'm sorry, I do apologise.
It's all good, man.
I know too much about Danny, but because I've known him from last year, so there's no question about. But I was adamant to come on because I wanted to talk about it, because I think I had a bit to say more in depth, more football wise, and not from a fan point of view. Okay, which is what I was seeing in the chat and things like that. Because I do have the experience, and I think I know a bit about what I'm talking about. But I'm cautious because everyone learns, even top managers learn. So I think we have to concede ourselves a bit of leeway in not being too arrogant and too up ourselves to know everything about it. I certainly don't, but I know what I know, and I'm glad to share that. Okay, I can see what the problems are at Spurs. I can see what is happening. Okay, and I can see why people are getting at Ange, and I can see why we're not consistently churning out the results that we had at the beginning of the season. And I just simply wanted to share that with.
Makes sense. No. Listen, your opinion. Listen, we all have our own opinions in our own way. But what we have to do, we need to go on to the next topic, because this conversation has kind of like diverted. So we need to talk about the preview, bro. So you carry on, man.
Yeah, Forest. Harry's gone in it. So I'll start with you, TJ. Thoughts on Forest?
For me personally, it's a must-win. If we want, let's see. For me, if our target is top 4, we need to start getting wins quick, innit? And Forest, for me, is a perfect place. It's at home as well, so perfect time, perfect place to start getting these wins, and especially with the games coming up, and it's going to be quite a difficult run of fixtures after Forest, so we have to be beating Forest,
But for me, terms of like Nuno coming back as well.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to mention. For me, Nuno, this is going to be a big stinker, because the same way I predicted us to lose against Chelsea, is the pressure going to be on these players? Maybe not. You don't know, But I'm hoping that we could win about 1-0, 2-0 at best. We haven't seen a win in a while, and even Luton, I don't class that game as a win. For me, that was a loss in my heart. The way we played, I expected us to perform much better than what I saw on the pitch. So, yeah, man.
Look, when it comes down to it, people seem to think I've got it in French. Not at all. I've picked him up a lot all season when I've seen him do the good stuff. When I see him do the bad stuff, I will rip it out of him just as much. And of late, I'd say over the past 5 months, I've seen more bad than I've seen good. And I think I can put that as a fact when you look at some of the ways we played. Now, the other thing is, and I must admit, this bit winds me up a bit. When all people just sit, look, I'll put this straight, and I'll put it to everyone. You lot, me, every Spurs supporter down here, gave him the easiest job a manager has ever had in football that there has ever been. And it was usually one of the hardest ones. When you go to a club that was as destroyed as Spurs, where the toxic fan base and everyone hated everything and that, one of the hardest things to do is win over the fan base. He had the easiest job ever winning over the fan base. I could have gone to Tottenham. Chris could have gone to Tottenham. You, TJ, we could have all gone to Tottenham and won that fan base. Kick the ball forward, boys. Play a bit of attacking football. That's it. 90% Spurs fans sit back. We're happy because we're not sitting back playing Conte ball anymore. He had the easiest job a manager has ever had on this planet. But the fact that he has stood there, and to me, he is nothing but a puppet now. Why? Because he has blatantly said it on TV, and he has blatantly put it on video reports and everything. I can even bring up the images on here and everything where he said it. That no, that's not how we work at Tottenham. We don't go for superstar players. What we do is get good players and get 3 or 4 of them. Yes, mate. In other words, you're just another Levy puppet. You're just another one of them mugs who's going to get paid for it because you're going to accept the fact that we're going to go for 5 or 6 okay players instead of go for 2 quality players that could actually do something for us. So in that aspect, my faith is a bit thin with the man, yeah. And then when the man also stands there and blatantly says, "I ain't changing my style of play for no one.
Yeah.
I play this way, and it's the highway or no way at all." And everyone's, "Yeah, but it's Ange ball. It's Ange ball. It's attacking football." Conte did exactly the same bloody thing, and he got ripped to pieces because the football weren't as pretty. So I'm sorry, my faith has worn a bit thin all of a sudden, purely by his statements. When he blatantly stated to everyone, "Nobody comes into this team without me wanting them." And then all of a sudden,
That's what he said. And then on the recon, we got Werner coming in, and it's true. No, you have a fair point. You do have a fair point.
so
Hence
I'm
why
skeptical of the man at the moment because of what I've seen and what he has said. And the fact that I've seen him adapt in 1 or 2 games, change it, well done. Worked brilliant with Liverpool and other ones. But he needs to change his style a bit, or at least have a plan B.
Yeah. He needs to adapt. For me personally, he has to adapt. He generally, I feel like his style is too open. Again, agree to disagree with a lot of people, but we are conceding too many goals. That's one of the biggest things.
Is more than enough time to learn something. Yeah, all right. His first season, I get all that. But when you work out over the past 20 games that something definitely ain't working because we've kept 2 clean sheets in 24 games, you use your brain, mate. You're a manager. You're in the Premiership. Change your style a little bit against certain teams, or maybe that you pushing up to the halfway line ain't got it, or maybe the other side of it is why try? What is it they say? Why try putting squares in circles and that? Because if you're that much of a good manager, right, you haven't got the right players to play your style of play. So instead of just being stubborn and saying, "Well, we're going to play my way and I don't care if we concede 3 goals," you sort of adapt your team a bit to what you've actually got to try and make the bloody thing work. And then once you get the more players of your choice, you can start formatting it all to the way you want it done. But no, I'm just going to play my way, no other way. I don't want to hear what nobody says because I am Ange and this is Ange ball. Conte did the same thing and he got absolutely ripped to pieces for it. Only difference is Ange plays a bit better looking football. But if anything, I'm more scared now in the last 10 minutes with Ange as the manager than I was as Conte. And then on another point I'll pick up on it. We're still a 45-minute club. We're no different to what we were 2 years ago with Conte. 9 months is more than enough time for a team to have at least a rough idea of what they're meant to be doing on that pitch. If they can't learn something in 9 months, I think they're in the wrong bloody job then. I know some people are more intellectual than others when it comes to that, but 9 months is enough time to sort of learn what you've got and what you haven't got. Ange should already be adapting a few things by now. If it comes to say we're fighting for 4th place, take the 5th place out of it is Champions League, and we're fighting for 4th place. Right, that last game counts whether we get in the Champions League or not. We blatantly know we're playing against a team that's very fast on the flanks. We ain't got Van der Ven and we got a fast man coming down the middle. What does Ange do? If he does not adapt his style because he has to get in that Champions League place, and he just says, right, I'm playing Ange ball like he has stated he will do and will not change, then he's not the manager for me.
Yeah, Chris, do you have a response to that or?
No, because it's opinion, and I respect everyone's opinion. So fair enough.
Oh no, I thought you were going to say something. Sorry.
No, I agree on something that I don't agree on others, but it's fair. It's fair enough because the same as we all agree and disagree on opinions, which is fine.
It is opinions. Football.
Yeah.
A lot of it is opinions, mate. But a few of the things I've just stated is all stuff he has stated and said himself.
Yeah. So there you go. But I mean. I think regarding the superstar, I think he said that quite a while ago as well. If I remember correctly, about signing big names, and you don't have to sign big names. You have to sign the right player for the way you want to play, and that isn't always done properly. Because look at Liverpool, for example. They signed Darwin Núñez. He ripped it up at Benfica. Mm-hmm. Had a very, very mediocre season at his first season. Now he's improving, right? whilst Diego Jota, he had experience already at Wolves, and he could rip it up any day. You just stick him on a 66 minute, he'll rip it up for you. Stick him on in starting 11, rip it up for you. But players need to adapt. They're not machines. Managers are the same. So I don't think that we will be signing big, heavy-duty star-studded names.
He's already said
but we don't need them. We don't need them. We need intelligent players that can do what the manager wants to do.
But okay, cool. I agree with what you're saying, 110%, and I know this is your opinion based. But the players that have come in, let's just say we've gone. Can we say we've put our faith in Werner, Solomon, Johnson? Are they the players that can take us to the next level? Because for me personally, two things can mean right, like he's saying we're going to go for the title next season, but I can't see us going for the title with Werner. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like, I get
this. I can totally understand you, and you've got to look at the players' fortes, right? You've got to look at players' fortes. Now, Brendan Johnson, when he was, I think he came from Forest. Is that correct?
Forest. Yeah.
They played counter-attacking football, and he was unstoppable. And you'd send him a ball through the channel or over the top or whatever into space. He would run on it, and 9 times out of 10 or 8 out of 10, he'd score. Very resolute kind of player. We don't play that now because we have to face low blocks, which is something that the manager and the players have had to adapt. It's not as easy as just earning £5-10 million a year and saying you're a Premier League player, do your work. They're not brickies, where brickies are just, you know what I mean, or they're not scaffolders. The job is very simple, kind of.
They are professional footballers and should be able to adapt in 9 months.
But they're not, Dan, and this is and yeah, they should be able to, but should is not as easy because you have opponents that are equally as good as you, right? And they are drilled to do what they are doing, right? And it is not as easy as people make it out to believe, which is why Man City, is not all money based, and they don't win because it's all money, right? They win because they have an extremely good structure from the top down or from down upwards. They have backing, right? Yes, they have financial backing, but they have savvy backing, right? They know what they're doing on every level of that club.
Of course they do. Right? They go out and spend 200 million on a striker. Right, they got him for about 50 and then 150 mil for his wages. If you're going to compete with the best, you need the best.
The best to be differential, and I even put that in the chat. To be differential, you have to pay the difference in money, right? Because Bernardo Silva is a differential player. Kovacic may not be to that extent, but he is still defensively, right, and work rate wise, not as differential, but he's still maybe a squad player. But I don't think he costs that much anyway, right? But Bernardo Silva is one of the best players out there, which is why he costs so much money. And if someone wants to take him away from that team, he's going to cost heaven and earth and a bit of Jupiter and Mars and the rest of them, because they are differential players. Now, when you're in the mix, the difference between one EPL team and another is not that different. It is not it all depends on how you want to play, right? And the manager, which is why the game is so beautiful.
But if you want to play the best way, you go and do what Arsenal did and go spend 100 million on one of the best in the Premiership.
Right.
No, it doesn't always work like that.
It doesn't,
because they might not win anything this season.
Yeah, but they've definitely.
No, but then it's going to improve the quality.
Look what Liverpool
quality, did. Yes, but you have to know what to do with the quality,
right.
Which is why Man City is so brilliant. Because even though they cost money, they know what to do with it.
Yes, and Liverpool went out and bought an 85 million pound defender and then spent 60 million pound on a goalkeeper because that's what they knew they needed. And instead of going and getting some average player or some little rough diamond that might turn out good, they went and bought ones who are quality here and now. So what are we going to do? Difference. Just go buy the rough diamonds again and let's hope it work out. So you're going to have to spend the big money on the best players if you want to compete with the best. Otherwise, we're just going to be this Mickey Mouse little team that runs about round about anything between what 7th and 4th place, and then nearly has an orgasm when it finishes in 3rd place.
Okay, so right, okay, so
You're never
so
going
say for example, I was a secret billionaire, and I said to Levy, you know what, I want to spend 150 million just on Bernardo Silva, right? Because I feel like it, because I love Spurs so much, and I don't want my fellow Spurs fans and channel chatters and members and colleagues, right, to suffer anymore. I want to go out and spend 150 million on wages and a whole lot and rip him away from Man City. You think Bernardo Silva will have any
impact,
make any difference on the team? Just one player.
the problem that you have here, look, I agree with what you're saying. Half of
season, one sec, TJ. Everyone stated last season, yeah, but Conte had Harry Kane. Yeah, he did, didn't he? He had a world-class player on there. That's why it helped him do it. So, yeah, one player does make a big difference.
You need to look at the difference that Rice has made at Arsenal. Like, he's taken them off another level. You can't just say, no, it hasn't.
Of course he has. They're actually going to take it to probably the last 2 or 3 games.
I agree. The standards have to improve massively. You know, if we really want to.
On each level, right? And you take into consideration, for example, Rice. Rice has changed the dynamic of Arsenal. They've also got Jorginho playing, right? They've also got they've even improved Havertz's output from last season, who he was drastic. And everyone was saying, was it last season he came to Arsenal? I think it was 65 million.
No, he signed this summer.
He signed this season. Right, yeah. So sorry about that. Yeah. So he's improved over the season, right? Everyone was laughing at Arsenal. 65 million from Chelsea reject, 65. Everyone's improved, right? But that takes time as well, right? But they have essentially a team that has been playing together under the same manager, with the same style and with the same technical nuances, right? Tactical nuances, with Trossard and maybe 1 or 2 more, whatever they've done, right? They have the foundations there already, right? That is what we are aspiring to. You see what I mean? There is a big difference.
Right. You're 100% right, and I'll make you right on there. The only point I will confront is that Ange just blatantly said that we're going to go for quantity, not quality. So where are we going to go? So when every other team gets good, and there is a chance that Chelsea pull their finger out because they got some bloody good players there, but let's just hope they don't. Aston Villa are going to put more money into it. Newcastle, we'll just wait and see, because I don't think they can make enough money up north to spend the money that they want to spend up there at Newcastle. They just can't charge the same sort of money that you can in London. They can't do it. Man, you ain't going to sit about forever. Liverpool might stick back a bit, but are going to come back into it. So are we just going to stick with our quantity and then just keep hovering around where we are?
No, but the context about quantity and quality, right? If you go, for example, for someone like Gudmundsson, who's the Iceland geezer from...
Yeah, I know you're talking about the guy with link
from Genoa, from Genoa, right? Play left, right. He can left foot, right foot. Very good, very pacey, very technical. He can swing the ball in, brilliant, right? If you had him in Spurs this season, right, for the first 10 games, he'd probably have 12 assists, 3 or 4 goals, whatever, right? A few free kick, whatever, right? Suddenly the teams have found Spurs out, right? Which I can think we can all agree on. They found us out. What are they going to do? They're going to sit back, right? We've had to adapt to that. We've had to find a different way of playing, right? Okay, to overcome that hurdle, right? If you had him on the wing, right, either flank, instead of Kulu, who finds a brick wall and says, "Oh fuck, I'm going to pass it back." But if you have this guy who says, "Sod you, I'm going to take you on one-on-one," right, and leaves them for dead, and actually puts a ball in. Plus, you had, say, Richarlison, who you all agreed on was good at headers, for example.
Yeah.
You just had that one player, and for example, Solomon, if he wasn't right, who is also a good one-on-one player. He's good. He's 2-footed. And if you had those 2 outputs on either flank, we'll be radically different. The style would be the same, right? But the attackers' mentality, because they're individually different, right? They're not scared to go one-on-one, especially Kulu, because he's a one-trick pony, in my opinion, right? He's a one-trick pony.
Don't worry. We pretty much all agree on that anyway. So
yeah, exactly. He encounters a problem and says, "Right, you sort it out." Okay, right. in the majority of the season, he's been like that. Okay, if you had something different for 30 million,
and what has your message?
Right, it's 30 million pounds, 35 million euros. Yeah,
Has your message? Read your message.
What?
Sorry?
The message. Your
right.
message. Yeah, carry on.
Oh, yeah, that would be radically different. So I don't really need 60, 70 million for Chiesa, right? Who isn't a winger? He's a left or right forward, as opposed to a winger, which are different in and of themselves. I'd go for Goodmanson for 30 million pounds because
Makes sense.
quantitatively and qualitatively, he's given me more, and I'm saving a shitload of money. You know what I mean? So I think about it that way. You know, I don't need to go for Salah. Salah's at the end. He's like 30, whatever he is. I need to go for what can bring me results in the now to mid-term and doesn't cost me 60 million, 70 million.
The problem
there are
is
players out there that can improve us so much, right? That it's unbelievable. But we don't need the 100 millions. We don't. That it would be great if we did need them.
Look,
well, it depends.
Chris, I've agreed on most of what you said here, yeah. But if we're willing to go out and spend 65 million on a pile of crap like Richarlison, we should be willing. We should be willing to go out and spend 80 million on another quality striker.
No, it doesn't work like that.
50 million on another, or if we go and spend 50 million on Johnson.
Yeah, but that yes, but I understand the logic.
For what? 30 million.
Yeah, but but I understand the logic that if you're willing to buy a pile of crap, you're willing to buy another pile of crap. But just because you bought two piles of crap doesn't mean you're doing things right. Okay?
No, of course not. It means we can spend money and spend it properly on a good player that he's already proven quality. Everybody knew Richarlison was crap before he even came to Spurs.
Yeah, exactly.
But hopefully, I will never know.
Yeah,
but there is hopefully that you have to put the money out for, because otherwise you ain't going to get it. And when you just keep going for quantity, you got to have quantity in your club. Totally get you. But if you ain't got the quality, you ain't never going to win crap. And that is why Spurs have got one trophy in what? Oh, sorry, we got an that other side cup in 24 years.
Yeah.
And if we want things to change, and we want to be this big club, which we are not, we have only ever been a cup club, nothing more, nothing less. Nothing's ever going to change. And until we start acting like this big club that we actually are money-wise, that brings in over 6.5 million per match, has a turnover of like $500 million, 3 years ago had the third highest income in sport. Until they actually start doing something with that, buying quality players, we ain't ever going to get no quality, and we might get a League Cup. But I'm at that point we can finish 15th, and if we get a League Cup, I'm happy.
I'm happy. You know, because football is about success, and sadly, we haven't seen success in the last 15 years. All the teams around us have either won a trophy or some sort of silverware, and we sit here as Tottenham fans begging for a trophy, begging for a single thing. So you've got a fair point, man. We need to see some sort of success in the next couple of years, or even now. You know, I want it now. Next year, as Happy Feet Harry, I call him Happy Feet Harry. That's my nickname for him because he's always happy, innit? He said next year is the goal. And if we don't win it next year, I have to start pulling the plug, and I'm going to start calling out the spade to a spade because we're just not improving. The ultimate goal is to win trophies. And this is my biggest concern. If we keep going down these processes, it's going to get to a point where it's 30 years and I have kids. I will end up having kids, and then I'm going to say to my kids, this is Tottenham. We don't win trophies.
You got in the league, you've got what 5% chance of winning the league. So you know it's difficult.
You know that's not going to happen. He's not going to win that league. He's not.
Yeah, but
he's not good enough manager to win that league.
It's not about being a good enough manager or not.
Being a good enough manager is about how the club plays in that, yeah. But he's not good enough to live up to the mentality of someone like Pep.
Know what?
Hang on. Stop. There's only one Pep. There's only one Pep in this world.
Exactly. I mean, so with that,
so the comparison is a bit
Okay, fine. And then where every other manager, even down to the days of Ferguson, where he would tamper with his plan A, plan B against certain teams and that, and every other manager that's done it, Ange has stated to me that he is not going to change his way.
Not going to change it,
and it's only going to play his way. My faith is like off.
But a style, I said this before, style is a way a manager perceives the game, right? And you can change, and you can have a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan Z, as long as you have the tools to do that. If you've only got a tool to build a cabinet, you can't build a door.
But this is what I'm trying to say. But this wait, hold on. Let me just cherry pick. I use the analogy of playing blackjack. You can only play what the cards are in front of you. You might be able to bluff. You might be able to tell a lie. But if you don't have good cards and the cards on the table are better than yours, you're going to obviously fold, right? The problem we have year in is the track record of Levy presenting him with the players. This is why, please don't I'm not using it as a target at you, but this is all that blind, I'm going to say blind faith. What if? I can't be what ifs. I want right now. I want to know that I'm going to target a player and it will improve my squad. And what I've been told is we're going for players like Werner.
And also, something someone's just said on here, I just want to put someone straight. Vicario, VDV and Maddison aren't cheap signings. VDV was a bang average signing, like, for price-wise. Vicario was dirt cheap, and Maddison was dirt cheap.
And let's be honest here now, yeah? Let's go deeper into them signings. We got lucky in terms of the goalkeeper because we were our main target, and it was every Spurs fan went in crisis mode when Raya got sniped.
I already knew about Vicario.
Yeah,
some of the few did because I follow Serie A. And
fair enough. But let's be honest with you. Our main target was obviously Raya.
Yeah,
you know, what is it called? Van der Ven. I said, personally, I wanted both. I wanted Tapsoba and Van der Ven. We ended up getting one over the other, but fair enough. Maddison, we know about Maddison has. We've been chasing that brother for the last 5 years.
Quality player, but again,
yeah, we all know about Maddison. We never. Each year we went in for Maddison, it was because the money's too much and all of this and that, right? It happened that Leicester got relegated and it gave Levy an opportunity. But I guarantee you, if Leicester stayed up, we wouldn't have Maddison.
He had 1 year left on his contract as well, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, true.
Which has got Levy written all over it. Same as
True.
So again, I mean, if you want to be really technical, Van der Ven wasn't that much compared to modern day football.
Of course not.
That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make. The one I made before. Sorry, you don't need super mega money to get the right players in. Vicario, how much was Vicario? 17 million, I think he was.
Yeah, but he was it just happened to be that.
The reason we went for Vicario, let's get it clear, was because we got the money was too much for Raya. And I could equally argue at the time of moment, look, okay, cool. A lot of people are going to criticize what I'm going to say here, but at the time of moment, I would have wanted Raya over Vicario. Because firstly, Raya, let's just remember this, he came off of a very good season. He's Premier League proven as well. So I can equally justify that if we had Raya in our squad, we would be at the same spot.
TJ, there'll be no bedding in period that Vicario had to have in the first
100%.
10 games, whatever it was.
It was the first 5 games, including pre-season.
But Raya, you could argue probability-wise, Raya would have walked into the team and would have been fine.
Again, it's about. See, look, I get the fact that we can get players on cheap, but see, I just want quality players. I want the best players to play for Spurs.
But that isn't always the best outcome.
What you said, mate. Yeah? You don't
it's not always the best for the team.
100 million. You don't. You're 100% right. And sometimes the best players are actually found when you dig a little bit, yeah. But when you start getting to fourth place and start looking for fourth place, and you want to do what Ange says he wants to do, and that's go for the league and that, you need to get the big boys in. Liverpool had to do it. That was why they went and got Virgil van Dijk and Alisson, because they knew the main points of their team that was holding them back, they needed it. So they didn't go out and go for 2 good players that could turn into quality players. They went for 2 quality players.
Ready made, yeah.
We have to concede.
They was lacking on a striker, so they went and got Haaland, which cost them altogether around about 200 million plus. All right, transfer was 48 million, but you know his wages and everything out. They worked it out.
Yeah, that's by the by. Wages are by the by.
But what did he do for him last year? He definitely done that treble for him, didn't he? Why? Another one. Go back in the years. Right, Fergie wanted to win that last league that he was there. What do we need? We need a striker. What do we need? So he went and spent the money on Van Persie, who was one of the top strikers at the time, bar his weak ankles or knees, whatever. If you want to compete with the best, mate, you got to start getting some of the best. You can't just keep hoping on the cheaper players. But you're right on what you're saying. It isn't always about getting the 100. Your whole squad ain't got to be 100 million players. Not at all. Man City ain't that. But the ones who win it for them are the top dog money ones. And we haven't.
And they will cost money, because they're the ones that make the difference when it matters most.
But we don't believe Levy will do these sorts of things. That's what we're trying to say.
And I understand that, I understand that, because Levy has an extensive track record in doing absolutely the opposite of what we need to do as fans should be doing. And I understand that. And we're just
this is where I actually prefer, I like what you're saying, Chris, because at least you are not on the deluded side. Whereas we speak to Happy Feet Harry, and he says we're going to get the best, we're going to get this, and we're going to get that blindly. And this is, I call it blind faith. Maybe there's a better word to put it, but blind faith, and putting blind faith in people like Levy. He has the worst track record. Listen, off screen. If you stay here, I will actually go deeper to why I know Levy has blind faith. But I can't say on here because I get fired, innit?
The difference is Chris actually knows what he's talking about. So there we go.
All right, brilliant. Is there any more topics that we need to go through?
Yeah, no, that's about it, really. Chris, first of all, where can we find you?
As the name, as the name suggests, Meta Football TV. So thank you very much for having me on.
Don't worry, man.
Chris,
is that Meta Football TV. I have been away through personal issues, and I've been studying as well the license, the UEFA football license, as you call it in England, the badges, because I'm in Spain. The badges. I've just finished that. I've got it. I passed the whole lot, and that's why my channel has been on hiatus through my mother passing away and through the badges.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Sorry to hear about that. See, I was just about to say something funny, but then you said your mum. I was going to say Chris in for the Tottenham job. Then you said your mother passed away, so now that joke. Sorry to hear about that.
Fine, it's not a problem. I'd actually take a 50% pay cut in what Ange is currently on, and I'd do it, no problem whatsoever. And I'd probably get rid of the inverted fullbacks as well, just to I don't know, just to appease you lot. But I
just don't think the inverted fullbacks thing's going to work.
Keep you happy.
I don't like it. I prefer the overlapping thing. One thing I will ask quick, Chris, is I don't know what WhatsApp ones your members on and that, but if you can get my number off of someone, contact me. I'd love to do a couple of shows with you on my one.
Chris, are you on X?
I am on X. My handle is @ScoopersBCN.
Spoofers.
Scoopers, like as a scoop of ice cream. I can put it in the comment if you want. I don't know if I can write on here or.
Just you see where it says chat. Just
I'll follow you. Don't worry, I'll follow you, Chris, already. Do you want me to pass you Dan's number afterwards anyway?
If you can do, please, mate. It'd be appreciated.
Yeah.
Chris, you blatantly know what you're talking about when it comes to the tactical side of it. You blatantly do. There's no ifs or buts about it. different opinions, everyone's got it. And the thing about football is everybody sees football through their own eyes. I will see things that happen on that pitch that you don't. And you will see things on that pitch that I don't. And these two will, and everything. That is half the fun of football.
This is why football is a very controversial topic, especially when you get...
was the most popular sport in the world, if I've been honest.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
well,
100%.
I appreciate the compliment, Dan, and it's
don't worry,
it's okay to be wrong in the rest of what you said. So,
and Dan, where can we find you next?
Hotspur Hood. I'll have a couple of shows coming up soon. Had to divert for a couple of reasons and that again, but I'm very erratic with my shows. They just come up here and there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Yeah,
or I sit there and I decide I'll do one in half hour's time or something. So it's very come and go sort of thing. Or I do an hour's one that goes on for 5.5 bloody hours. But that's a different story. But yeah, Hotspur Hoods. We'll find some more stuff on there soon because I've got a couple of things planned up on there, which will definitely cause a bit of controversy. So should be.
Yeah, and
what,
TJ,
you controversial? Nah.
It's the way to be, mate. It was fun.
Yeah, I agree.
that's true.
And then you were going to say me,
sorry.
yeah?
Yeah, TJ.
Oh, no.
Spursy Talks.
You know where to find me every Friday on Spurs Kings TV. Like and subscribe this channel on this channel. Also, I keep saying this every single week.
Wait for it.
I will. You know what? In fact, I'll do it tonight. I'll fix up my channel and I'll start posting on my channel. Spursy Talks. Is that my channel? Yeah. See, I haven't been on it so long. I've been on every other person's channel, not on my own channel. Spursy Talks. Give it a subscribe. Subscribe to everybody in this chat as well. You know, literally, it takes time to do this. We've been doing this for what 2 hours and 43 minutes.
Yeah, almost
So,
3 hours. Almost 3 hours.
Almost 3 hours. And yeah, man. And then obviously has.
Yeah, has.
Where can we find you?
And obviously on here, I'm on Tottenham Way sometimes. I mean, I go on the late show sometimes. I was on the other day, wherever else really. And I post match reaction videos most of the time now. And I'm on here and the odd stream here and there, I guess. So yeah. So subscribe to everyone here. Metaphor.
And also, Happy Feet Harry as well. Let's mention him as well.
Scarfy Spurs Talk.
Yeah.
It should be
Scarfy Spurs Talk. Go over to his channel right now.
He's hosting this show. Yeah, Spurs
Yeah. Yeah, go over to his channel, give it a like, comment. Just all you people here, comment. TJ said you're deluded. Just say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So there's something else that we're gonna do, yeah?
Yeah, afterwards.
I've got to jump onto another show now. I'm going on to Alan's one.
Time added on, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So you people that want to carry on watching Spurs content, times added on. Yeah. You're gonna see Dan over there, so just go follow that. You know. All right, cool.
People, thanks for having me on. Nice to speak to you again, Chris, because I haven't seen you for a long time on here, and hopefully I can catch up with you soon and the rest and sort out.
See you soon, mate. Yeah.
No problem, mate. My pleasure.
Thank you guys for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for letting me on in the end. Thank you very much.
No. So it's a technical thing, man. It's like this Streamlabs is a bit fun.
You should do StreamYard. StreamYard is much better than this.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dan, it's not my choice.
It's not our channel. We're guests on this channel ourselves.
Yeah.
And you know the amount of times I tell Marlon, StreamYard is the way, but
bro, I told him straight after this. When I first used this, I was like, "This isn't StreamYard. I can't use this."
StreamYard is better, but either way, right? I've got to shoot people.
Yeah, right. Take care, man.
I'll speak to you again, mate. Take care of yourselves.
Yeah, no problem, mate. Whenever you
all right.
Cheers.
And then let's end this then. Like and subscribe.
Take care, guys. All right.
See you later.
I am sorry. You still on?
What's going on?
What did it end? What? It's still live, bro.
Is it not ending?
It's still live. End it. What is happening? End the live, and it's still live right now.
Managed to pay his bills.
All right, cool. Look, I think we just have to desert it.
All right.
All right.
I didn't get your channel. Sorry, TJ.
Spursy Talks. Look, you will definitely find me on this channel. Don't worry about my channel.